Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to the 330 Sports Show. My name is Justin Coffin and today is Thursday, April 8th, 2021. We're broadcasting live from downtown Youngstown, Ohio, and we're produced by Joe Danier and the Youngstown Studio Network. We do have phone lines open for the first half of the show. If you would like to call in, 330-595-1600, 330-595-1600. If you want to talk sports, I'll introduce my guests here in a minute if you want to talk to these guys. I'm going to introduce them, like I said, in a minute. We have our lockbox down here, $300 in cash in there, Joe, and $300 in cash and AirPod Pros. So you have an opportunity to win those by calling in and guessing the correct three-digit code.
While we sit here, let's just go 1-1-1.
On the back nine of the show, we're going to have Greg Kirchner join us to talk pretty much everything Masters. The tournament kicked off in Augusta, Georgia this morning. We'll talk about that on the second half of the show. But on the first half of the show, I'm going to introduce my guests over here joining us. They're entertaining, they're informative, they're funny. Sometimes a little controversial, you know, however you might want to say that.
Some would say posters.
But the two brothers over here, the MLO Brothers, or MLO Bros, which
MLO
do you prefer?
Bros,
Bros.
right?
Official title, yes.
So Luke and Isaac Schuster, and so guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Having us on.
coming on. Luke, you're the older one, obviously.
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 And the thicker one from the camera angle here. I'm trying to. I feel like
I wouldn't spread out.
Yeah, I'm
You take
so
up more
big.
space. Maybe
I'm like
try and stay. Yeah, there you go.
You know what? Anyone judging though, like, come on.
Yeah.
You know.
True.
I'm like a Sasquatch. It's true. So I am the older brother. I am 41. Isaac is the baby. I don't know where to look either.
I think that's the camera.
Is that the camera?
Yep.
I
Okay.
am. Now I feel like I'm preaching. I am the older brother. I'm 41 years old. Of the oldest of four. Isaac is the baby at 26.
I'll be 27 April 17th.
27. Yeah, 27. So that's our story. I was in mortgage banking for like 18 years, and the first thing I did when I got my own branch with Nationwide Mortgage in Poland was hire my brother. He got his test.
Yeah.
Passed his test, and now we're loan officers, and we have O'Keel, who's another. Was he a MLO bro or what we?
Step bro.
Brother,
bro.
Step bro.
whatever.
So yeah, we're all loan officers, and
Okay.
started podcast last year with COVID, and it's been good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen a handful of your guys' shows.
Yeah.
They're pretty entertaining. I gotta say though, the most entertaining thing you guys have done that I absolutely love, and I may steal the idea in a different format,
Steal.
Yeah.
is the promo you guys did with the billboard in Poland, or heading into Poland with the Jurassic Park thing. That thing is phenomenal. That is, I mean, that's one of the best promos for any. You know how you see like a local commercial and they're really stupid and cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's like a spoof on it, but it's really well done
Thanks.
for you guys. I mean, did you just do that on your own?
It's all him.
Dude, my 9-year-old filmed that.
That's awesome.
My 9-year-old. We
He
were
did a hell of
literally
a
like,
job.
huh? Oh,
He
he
did
did,
a hell of a
he
job.
did awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of our videos we've done, Lucas. But he filmed it, with like direction and like
Yeah.
a million takes.
A million.
But we were
takes,
just
yeah.
how did we think of that? We did the billboard, and did you think of the Jurassic Park or?
I forget. Like we did the billboard's based off of Step Brothers, of us like holding
Yeah.
each other, and then we're like, we got to do something to like debut our billboard for the first time. And I think you thought of Jurassic Park and how they're sitting in the Jeep
That-
and they see
yeah.
the dinosaurs. But then we just put it all together. We're just always bouncing ideas.
I
off
get
each
these.
other.
Yeah, we're always bouncing on. It's like I'll just get like a random like these thoughts. Just like, hey, I got an idea. Let's go do Jurassic. Hey,
right.
let's do. We did an escape room with the escape room in
East Palestine.
East Palestine. We're
Yeah.
going to on Monday. We're going to a limestone mine because we had the owner of Firestone Farms on our show, and his family owns a limestone mine in Columbiana County.
Okay.
So we're like, dude, what?
Yeah, it goes like 2 miles. He's like, it goes 2 miles down, and it's like you can drive your car into it. And he's like, nobody knows about it though because it's underground. You can't see it. So we're like, can we go into the mine with you?
So we're gonna be filming
And where's this at again?
Columbiana County,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
like in Petersburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like,
Okay,
let's go explore.
Yeah.
So we're bringing our dad because he wanted to go.
Yeah.
So it's the four of us are going down into a line 2 miles down into the earth on.
I
on
wonder.
Monday.
I wonder if you'll get reception down there like that.
He said
far.
nothing.
No,
We're gonna
you
video
didn't.
and
You're
then
gonna
take it
record
out.
Okay. All right,
So-
that's pretty sweet though.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So doing this podcast stuff, we're gonna get to your regular day jobs
Yeah.
in a minute, but
Yeah.
I just want to know, tell me some maybe some interesting stories. You guys started in when? For the podcast.
April 20th of
Okay.
last year. So
Okay.
we're coming up on a year here.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you guys doing that, tell me some, and I've seen some of the stuff you've done,
Yeah.
especially recently, but tell me some of the cooler things, maybe some of the, you don't have to name names, but tell me some of the cooler stories or different topics or whatever you guys have talked about.
Yeah, so we try to help the community in the best way we can.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the coolest things we've done was last Thanksgiving, we gave away 500 turkeys.
500 turkeys.
Oh, wow.
We
Okay.
got the mayor of Poland and his company. We handed them out right there, right near the gas station, right in Poland, and just put it out all over our social
Senator
medias.
Ruley helped us from Ruley Brothers.
Yeah,
Okay.
Senator Ruley from Ruley Brothers. He helped us out with getting the turkeys there. He gave us the turkeys at cost, and we just all day. I think Saturday before Thanksgiving, handed out 500 turkeys
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
was able to help the community out. It was really cool.
Yeah,
really cool
and
experience.
we had, and the thing that's cool about doing that is you have so many people come together. So Jeremy from the Youngstown Pizza Reviewers,
Yeah.
came and helped. All the police officers from Poland
Yeah.
were there. Celebrate Poland group, we had all kinds of people helping.
Different
and
community
It was
Facebook
really
groups
really cool.
Came to help out.
Yeah,
and-
Boardman Talking.
Yeah, a bunch of different.
Brett did.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Yeah, and that's awesome. That's where I think you guys and what you do, and me just getting started a little
Yeah.
bit. I started in August, but that's what I love. I love having
Yeah.
people, that are in the community out there, whether it be news people or business owners, to help spread the word, especially during this COVID time.
Yes.
That's why we did
you
it.
want to help small businesses. You want to put there's so much negative shit out there
Yeah, it's
all the
terrible.
time. And it's so good to highlight and spotlight businesses and people and good things people are doing. And I think to your guys' credit, you do a great job with that.
We appreciate that.
Yeah,
We always try and mix it up. So we'll try and do a business, and then we'll try and do a political figure. We had
Yeah.
all three mayors on. People, the
Democratic
Democratic
candidates.
running. We had them on, and that was really really interesting. And then we'll have a community group. What else do we have? We have politicians. We have
Local companies.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So I don't know. It's just trying to change it all up, keep it interesting, and of course we do cause havoc every now and then too, which is
Yeah.
kind of
the community drama we like.
Yeah, explain some of that. Explain some
So-
of that. Or give me at least one example.
Okay. So you know how Facebook can be with people just saying ridiculous stuff.
Oh yeah.
So if you
But everything on the internet's true though.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was-
exactly. But
Always, always.
So we have these community Facebook groups, and if you live in one of these areas, you should go join the Facebook group because the drama is fantastic. But you have
love
we
that
started
stuff.
everything Poland, and now we got everything Boardman, everything Columbiana, everything Canfield. So
Everything Youngstown.
Everything Youngstown.
Yep.
So go join that. But people just say the dumbest things in these community groups. Like this old lady Gretchen from Poland.
Gretchen.
Gretchen calling her out. I love it.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go.
So
Gretchen.
freaking Gretchen from
Oh, we
Poland.
called her out this morning too.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead,
So
Isaac.
Gretchen from Poland, she's like, there's this black and white cat on Delaware Avenue that keeps coming into my yard, eating my
Buddies.
wild rabbits that come into my yard. And if I see that cat one more time leave another dead rabbit in my yard, I'm gonna catch it and I'm gonna take it to a shelter. And then everybody, this poor lady, just after she posts that, everybody in Poland just gangs up on poor Gretchen. And just listen, Gretchen, you can't you can't catnap someone's cat.
No.
And then take it to a shelter.
Right.
And wait a minute. A cat is eating rabbits? How is that even physically
So
possible?
She's just guessing.
Bunny rabbits.
It could
I
be-
think it's hawks.
It could
I
be
think
hawks,
or
it could be
coyotes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well, that was just all yesterday, right? So that was yesterday
That-
morning.
yesterday morning, and then yeah,
Do it. I'll say, somebody took a picture of a Black Lives Matter sign
Sure.
on 170. It's not on the road. It just and said on the Facebook group, it is a profile. He's saying, "Oh, I'm a real profile." No pictures of himself.
yeah,
A picture of a car, his pets,
yeah,
and then it is, "What do you all think of this sign?" And it just explodes.
Yep.
yeah.
Into a
Trolling,
couple
pretty
trolling,
much. Yep.
a couple racists, and it's
Yep.
just like, Oh my gosh. So then what did we do? So this morning we you know what? Instead of like deleting it, we just go head on into it.
Yeah.
So
we kept it on there. We kept all these people's responses. We took down the Black Lives Matter one because people were just being racist. And
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no room for that.
So we took that down, and then this morning last night we're like, okay, everybody, we're gonna settle this drama.
we need to have a
We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna go live tomorrow morning from the MLO Bros. We'll post it on Everything Poland. And this morning we have 70 people that wake up with us at 8 a.m. and go live with us, and as we talk about all these.
Time.
It's like Poland, Ohio morning news, and just unfiltered morning news. And I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it just starts communication. So then we have Okil Gist, who's a loan officer with us. He comes on and is the black representative for us. And just explains. I'm like, tell these people in Poland what it's like, what you think of Black Lives
really
Matter,
good.
and what it is to you. And just, having that communication, I think that's good for everybody in our little community of Poland, Ohio.
It
Yeah.
was a really good. Everybody always accuses us of being pot stirrers and and this kind of stuff, but I always look at it like this is stirring conversation that people would never ever have.
You're shedding light on a topic that might not get talked about.
100%.
Everybody walks on eggshells about it, and it needs to be discussed.
Sure.
So you had O'Keel talking to 70 people, and it's really good. It's on our face. It's on our. We've had it on the MLO Bros. It's on
70
there.
more than
You can watch
likely
it.
white people.
Yeah, 70 more likely white people living in Poland, Ohio, in their mansions.
Yes.
Have O'Keel explaining what it's like to be a black man growing, or a black kid and a black man living where he says he walked. You said it.
Yeah.
You guys walked into the grocery store one time.
Yeah.
O'Keel had a cop trail him into the grocery store. Well,
A local grocery
store.
store, and they just left me totally alone and let me go.
And it's like this is real life, and this is and again it all starts with a bunch of fights, but we've gotten into it with let's rephrase it. We've brought light
In Canfield
with the water.
Yeah.
Where you live in Canfield, you
Yep.
said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the water thing, the city of Canfield doesn't exactly like us. We're pretty sure. The city of Canfield with the water, some of the zoning issues, some of the different things. If people come to us, everyone's always like, you guys are just doing this to stir the pot. People come to us and say, hey, you got to help us because the governments aren't listening. And that's what we do.
Right.
The Airbnbs in Poland, we had that whole big fight.
All right, so with that one, I'm just going to say what I know on that one. There was a swimming pool inside, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Inside of a house.
This person didn't live there, correct?
Nope.
And they just wanted to recoup some of the money that they put into this house.
So at first they said they were going to move into the house, but this was like during COVID.
Okay.
Something came up where they couldn't move a family member into the house. I think it was like a grandmother or something, because one reason or another they couldn't move into the house. So they're like, okay, because of COVID, we're going to try and Airbnb this place because it's so beautiful. We want to, I think it'd be great to have people in this house and go swimming in the pool in the middle of Poland.
Heck yeah.
So basically what happened was they were getting ready for their first rental, their first people to come in, and like the day before, the village of Poland sent a police officer with a cease and desist order to hand it to this guy.
Okay.
Like,
While he's blowing off his driveway.
You're not Airbnb-ing because we don't know what it is. We don't have any laws, and it's going to lead to all these terrible things.
Right.
So, of course, everybody in every older person in Poland who doesn't know what Airbnb is it's going to lead. There's going to be parties at the house.
Meth heads.
There's going to be like all kinds
Cocaine,
of drugs,
strippers,
and
hookers.
it's not good. It's not good for our community. So
pedophiles.
yeah,
Oh,
they said
God.
everything.
Seriously, you should have heard these people.
Everything under the sun. And it's just frustrating because I've had great experiences with Airbnbs in Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and we just go on the MLO Bros, and I'm like, has anybody who on the council ever even done research and looked into what Airbnb is? What are the restrictions? What you as a village can put in place to just control it a little bit, but still allow it? And it was just so frustrating. So frustrating.
My issue is being a homeowner and having kids. I honestly don't care either way if there was an Airbnb or not. That wasn't my problem with that situation. My problem, and I've said this from the very, very stinking beginning. the approach of the village council, the village lawyer who we're friends with,
Yeah.
Toby from
Toby,
the office, as we like to call him.
Okay.
The approach. You can't order a cease and desist. Well, you can, but it's not the right thing to do. You can't drop it off at the police. Like, it's just rude, and it gives us Poland residents a bad name of being unwelcoming.
Yeah.
And everything I've read, they did a cease and desist order, and they did a moratorium.
Moratorium.
I never say it right. Which says, hey, no Airbnbs. Everything I've read online is when you do that, it is a poor move as a village. It is a poor move as leaders because you're being reactive, not proactive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they got caught with their pants down. And
Yeah.
we live there. We know these people. Actually, the mayor actually sponsors our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's an
He's an insurance agent.
Oh, insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and he's just like, yeah, you guys are you guys. He always says that.
Yeah.
He's like, I wish I was you guys.
But
yeah.
they ended up they were forced to sell the property. Luckily, they recouped because the market's so good. They were able to recoup everything, and I think they made a little bit of a profit, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
But it's just like scared them away from our community. It does not make Poland look good in any way, shape, or form.
And we pissed a lot of people off of that one.
Yeah.
We had people. So my wife's a kindergarten teacher, so in Poland. So I always have
okay.
so she's like kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
And then there's me over here, and like she had people like, "What is wrong with your husband?" What, like, kind of going at her, and I'm like, it's like, screw you people.
Joe, you can probably relate to that.
Right?
Joe's wife's a kindergarten teacher in Australia.
Oh, there you go, Joe.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
exactly.
yeah, I hear it all. You gotta walk that line a little bit.
I tend to not walk that line. so it's and she's like my wife is like straight narrow.
She's
doesn't.
like almost Maggie. I love
You have
that.
to be to
almost
be a
goody
kindergarten
two
teacher.
shoes.
Yeah, she's goody two shoes. Right, we're like complete opposites.
Total balance.
Total,
Yeah.
exactly. It is
Yeah.
total
Perfectly
balance.
balanced.
And it's like people were going after her, so we had to put that waiver on the very beginning of our podcast, like the MLO Bros do their own thing.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against their family,
Disclaimer.
friends. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's funny that people know that they can't get to us, right? So they know that
100%.
like, we literally don't care what you think. So then they go after your wife, knowing that your wife's going to give you a hard time.
100%.
Because that's the only way to get to you.
100. They went after my wife, and it's like,
Yeah.
screw you people.
It's so funny.
And I'm not getting into the particulars of who, what, when, where, how, but come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
An innocent bystander.
Exactly.
Collateral damage.
Come after, but the
unfortunately.
problem is, like you said, they can't get us because I just don't care.
You don't
Yeah,
care.
you guys got thick skin to do this.
Yeah, I
obviously.
don't care.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, let me really quick. We're gonna venture into the boring real quick.
Go, do it.
And tell us about your day jobs, because I don't know what the hell a mortgage loan officer does. Obviously, you deal with realtors and deal with things.
Yeah.
But so explain that a little bit. And obviously, it's probably good times because it's a seller's market. I guess maybe.
Here we go. So, mortgage loan officers, we are it's kind of like a bank, like a loan officer. So
Okay.
you go to buy a house or you go to refi, you would call us. We would help you out,
With financing.
with
the
financing.
purchase.
And that's basically what we did. I've worked in banking, like the retail banks, like Farmers, Huntington, like you name it, I've been in them. Sales manager, all that stuff. And last year, I had about enough of the corporate BS with not being able to market the way I want, not being able to do what I want. And it was always suit and tie, go to the office. I'm like, I'm freaking done. So the bank that I was at, we had a record year. They pull me in their office and they're like, hey, you made too much money last year. And we're going to redo your comp plan. I'm like, what? They're like, well, you did so good. We are going to redo it because you made more than the chief financial officer. And I said, that's not my problem. You don't pay your chief financial officer
Right.
enough, And they're like, well, so I said, screw you. I'm out.
Hell yeah.
And I left, and I joined Nationwide Mortgage, which was brand new to Ohio. They had no offices, no anything in Ohio. And they hired me, and it's basically my branch, as close to self-employed as you can be. We still get paid through Nationwide Mortgage. We use their underwriters, but it's basically us. And I hired Isaac, who passed his test. Well, actually,
I failed it the first time.
he failed it. Listen to this. Listen to
The
this.
test is no joke hard. It was actually very tough.
I like that
from a
you're
guy,
honest about that.
Coming from a guy who never studied, I I graduated from YSU. I barely studied for anything in my school career. And the first time I took it, I totally failed.
But the best is, right? So you have to wait a month to retake it.
Okay.
Okay. While he's doing it, he flunks it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You could be my assistant.
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
awful.
So imagine
getting your
having
coffee and
your
stuff?
your big brother.
Just doing all of his
Who's
work
off-
for him,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah, basically, I was like, don't worry, it's a month. Just help me out. I have him do everything for me, right? COVID hits.
Oh, boy.
They don't open up the testing for like 5 months, so he's stuck as my assistant for
So
5
I
months.
think the first time I took it was February, and then I had to wait a month, so we're going into March, and then it's like, okay, Isaac, you're gonna take your test tomorrow. Lockdown. so I'm like, no. After working as Luke's assistant for a month, I'm like, no.
So the true definition of big brother, little brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
it is like, all right, Isaac, I need you to do A, B, C, and D today, and he like comes into the office, like sits down and like grabs the PlayStation controller, and he like looks at the TV, and he's like, okay, I'm like, are you seriously gonna play video games while I do your work? Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll be like, Isaac, can you do this? Yeah, where are you at right now? I'm actually fishing right now. Just get that all done for. And actually, right now, O'Keel just passed his test.
Okay.
And O'Keel has been that. It's kind of like we're almost looking at it like a pledge at this point, correct?
Yeah, so you.
It's like a fraternity pledge.
Okay.
So
yeah.
basically, how you get business is you have to have your clients call you, and when they're ready to finance, so they'll call a real estate agent, and then a real estate agent will send them to you, or you have friends that are buying a house that need you for financing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to like build your client base.
Mhm.
So it takes a little bit of time.
Does.
And when I first started out, that is part of the reason we started the MLO Bros, because Luke's like, okay, it's coronavirus.
We
We're in the
have
middle of a
nowhere to go
pandemic.
get business.
How the heck are you going to get business from people without being able to go talk to real estate agents and
Yeah.
go, like do these events to gather clients? So I was like, what if, like, I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan. What if we start like a community-based Joe Rogan where we just talk about
Be ourselves.
yeah, and just
Yep.
be ourselves, be goofy, and talk with local community leaders and businesses and try and help the community out at the same time we can maybe help me get business.
Yeah.
And then that worked great.
Yeah,
it
works
was
good.
super great. And then now O'Keel's trying to do that same thing. So until he can really build his client base, he gets to be Luke's assistant. And he's like my best bud. So Luke treats him like a little brother just as much as me. And O'Keel, it's funny because at the end of the day, he's not really Luke's little brother. So he's like, Luke's like on him about doing all this stuff, and O'Keel has all these questions, but he's terrified to ask Luke. And he's like, Isaac, what do I do? I'm like, you just need to tell Luke, like, force him to help you.
Oh, yeah.
He does. We're doing much better now.
Yeah.
He's learned.
Okay, so everyone kind of has those rites of passage to
Yes.
get to the next step.
Pretty much
I
with
love
our-
it. So
yeah.
once he builds his client base, which he is, he's slowly but surely he's getting there.
Yeah.
Once he gets his clients, then we can hire another loan officer
officer.
assistant
Then
for
O'Keel
Luke.
have
Yeah,
that.
And
exactly.
O'Keel will be good,
Yeah.
and then it'll
Like I
just
said, it's like a
repeat.
pledge. It's like a pledge class.
It's
really
almost like
is.
a multi-level marketing type.
Like a pyramid scheme almost.
Yeah.
It's a pyramid
Absolutely.
scheme with extra steps.
I turned my mortgage bank into a pyramid scheme.
Not a pyramid scheme. I want to put that
I'll
out.
tell you what, if anybody wants to join, give me a call right now.
Recruit your friends. You'll get $500 up front,
Exactly.
and then for
Everybody underneath that person, you'll get another $500.
they'll get $100
yes.
because they recruited.
Yes,
I love
exactly.
it.
You
I
can
love
set up, yeah, I like it. Mortgage loan officer pyramid scheme.
Heck yeah.
Oh my God.
Heck yeah. All right. So, you obviously mentioned Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan too.
Yeah.
That's sort of now that he's switched to Spotify. Because I'm almost a big iTunes Apple guy.
Yeah.
On my podcast, but I'll specifically just have Spotify for his.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I got into podcasting, like listening to it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, he'll go for 3-4 hours,
Oh, it's
with
crazy, yeah.
especially if he's got like an Elon Musk or,
Yeah.
like some conspiracy theory guy
Yeah.
or whatever. But who else maybe besides, or what maybe, let me ask it this way. What do you like about Joe Rogan that he does? Or maybe who are some other podcasters or podcast type things that inspire you guys, or, who do you look?
A perfect example of why Joe Rogan is successful that can be applied to the local community is the mayor, the Democrat people that are running for mayor, the candidates. So you see them on the news and you hear these 4 people are running as Democratic candidate for mayor of Youngstown.
Right.
And you hear them on the news, they say their little tidbit and then they're done.
Sure.
But having our platform, they each got to come on our platform and talk for an hour. And you really get to break them down and see what they think, see what they're thinking, what their plans are for the future, and just ask them all kinds of questions in normal conversation like anybody would ask them. And it's not super...
It's not stuffy.
No,
No,
it's not like
yeah.
fake. It's just casual conversation. And that I think that's the beauty of it. And that's why Rogan was successful, and that's why it works, and you have people watch us, too.
Yeah, it's very similar to like. It reminds me of like the morning talk shows too, like Rover's Morning Glory.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're not like that, that
Right,
crazy, but it's very similar to that. It's like a little bit of Rogan, a little bit of Rovers where they're talking about news and talking about
Sure.
stuff and having guests on. That's kind of like in my head what it is. I mean, and if I would be, for me, the guy who's really helped us a lot, not just with the podcast. Well, there's two guys, but also with like the marketing ideas and do it is Dennis Schiraldi with Do Yo Live, and DJ Yoakley with YSN. Those two guys have. DJ was our first guest. He StreamYard telling us what to do, how to do it, and then Dennis. I'll run some ideas by him with our crazy marketing stuff, and he's like, absolutely yes. Yeah. You're insane, but you could do that stuff, and we can't because he's a marketing agency.
Yeah.
So and he has always been helpful with that kind of stuff too.
Okay.
So, and then we've got a lot of friends now too that are all podcasters. So the Youngstown Pizza Reviews.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
And Lisa Resnick.
Lisa Resnick has been there. We consider you guys our friends.
Oh,
too.
hey.
Yeah,
Welcome
absolutely.
to the family. Yes.
Yeah. So we do that. We're all Spano. We've been on Spano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I don't know.
We had
I'm
the
sure
kid
we're
on
missing people.
the Hometown Heroes.
Hometown
kid.
Heroes, yeah.
Okay.
Little,
He's
I've heard of
16-year-old.
17?
He's a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like interviewing all these
Is
people.
it Mooney
That's
or
awesome.
Urson? Is he Mooney
No,
or Urson?
Warren JFK.
Warren J.
Okay.
That's right.
So it's like in like my whole thing with all the podcasters and all this stuff. I think and Joe is on to something, and Dennis has been doing this for years. Giraldi's been doing this for years. There is a spot for all of us, and there is a saying. I think it was Kennedy or somebody probably took it off somebody like rising tides lifts all ships.
Yes.
And that's why
100%.
I've been pushing. We've been pushing everybody. We're having you on our show. Joe, you want to come on with him?
Come on.
Come in. Yeah, you guys both come on.
It's kind of like when you're fishing, right? And your boat on the lake, and you see another fisherman.
Yeah.
You don't say, "Hey, get the hell out of here! It's our lake."
Exactly.
You just say, "Oh, you catch anything?"
Right.
Like it's everybody's in it together.
Because we're not competition. I don't think we're competing against for
Because everybody can
advertising.
watch
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
Exactly.
You know
And
what I
it's,
mean?
it's like,
Exactly.
and at this point with all the there's so many more podcasters coming, or not so many more. There's 6 or 7 of us, I'd say, in Youngstown right now, and slowly but surely, with everybody having their phones, you can sense it where people are all starting to tune in more and more and more. And honestly, I mean, we're friends with DePaulo, we're friends with the news guys, but it's like I think people are slowly going to start for local news, local info, local updates. They're going to start coming to us, and I think they already are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know with some of the shows that you guys do, they're already starting to watch, and it's slowly starting to turn because those news programs, they can only do a half hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
We can do hours on hours and hours.
And no FCC regulation.
Right, exactly.
Say whatever the hell you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you guys are definitely on to. I think it's on to something, and I'm curious to see where this goes in the next couple years. And as long as, and Joe will tell you this, it's about consistency, and it's about we go Tuesday, Thursday, no matter what, 8:30.
Yeah.
And I don't, Joe, how old are you? You're, sorry,
44.
44. When was Seinfeld on?
Oh my goodness.
Do you remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know the time?
8 o'clock probably. right?
8 or
Nine.
8, 9. 9
Nine?
on Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
When's Wheel of Fortune on? When's Jeopardy on? It's always consistently the same time
Yeah.
every day,
Right.
you
Good
know.
point.
And that is what I tell everybody with our
And
podcast.
we thought 8:30 p.m. because everybody, like in marketing at YSU, they always said people are checking their phones before they go to bed and right when they wake up. So it's the best time. I cook it
Coming
at night.
coming soon. Announcement tomorrow. It's going to be the 330 Sports Show is getting moved to 8:30. 8:30 p.m.
So we thought
Sports
8:30,
show.
and then we get a lot of people that hop on all the way through like 10 o'clock, and
It starts dropping off at 10. If we
yeah,
go long,
people start going to
'cause
sleep.
everybody goes to bed.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
weird, very weird.
I've noticed with my time slot, 1 o'clock, a lot of people working during the day.
Yeah.
We get a lot of our viewers,
Post.
like on demand
Yes.
or
Yeah.
post stream on
Yep.
Facebook and on our podcast through Apple, Spotify.
Yeah.
A lot of
Correct.
listeners through there. So we do like Periscope through Twitter,
I think we do
YouTube,
that.
all that stuff. So
We do Twitch. Do you do Twitch?
oh, Twitch.
We don't.
I thought that was a dating app.
Wait.
No, Twitch is for video games. So you're supposed to stream video games, but we stream on that, and then you'll have like somebody
It's the
random
most
hop in the
random
podcast,
thing.
and we're like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm on Twitch. I just stumbled upon you guys." We're like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in Northern Europe."
Oh.
Yeah, and he's like, he watched this guy on Twitch because you can see who's watching. He watched us with the Poland Village meeting for an hour, okay? And he's like,
Maybe he thought it was pulling the country.
no, he's like, I don't
We
even
get
know
some
where-
of those too.
Yeah, the guy's like, we're like, dude, why are you watching this? He's like, I was just scrolling through and I started watching. He's like, it's like a train wreck. I can't stop watching. We were laughing so
That's
hard.
awesome.
He's like, I want to move to Poland now. It's like, oh my god.
And Poland, by the way, like being a board, like I graduated from Boardman.
Yep.
I've lived in Youngstown. Like I'm 39, but I've probably lived in the Youngstown area about 30 years of my 39. I lived
Okay.
I lived in Waco, Texas for a couple of years, and I lived in Columbus for about 7 years. But Youngstown, everybody identifies with a different community in
Yeah,
Youngstown.
yeah.
We all say we're from Youngstown, but you
Yes.
guys are Poland guys. I think you said you went to South Range.
We both did.
Okay, you
Yeah.
both did. Okay, and South Range, by the way, awesome school district.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
great.
Yeah.
We loved it.
And nothing against Poland,
Yeah.
nothing against Boardman, but all those school districts. I mean,
Yeah.
Boardman, Canfield, South Range.
Oh, they're all
the,
top notch. Yeah, absolutely.
Top notch school districts. But I think we all say like we're from Youngstown, but we
Yeah.
all identify with a community.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about those community pages and everything pages.
So-
that you guys run.
They're interesting because each community kind of identifies a little bit different in
Different tones
How
with
they
each, yeah.
how they take on those community pages is interesting. So Poland has always been, and everybody knows it. Poland has always been like no outsiders welcome.
The snobby
The
community.
snobby community.
Yeah.
But this page has allowed
all due
the-
respect to Poland.
All
sorry.
due respect to Poland, and I love it. And I live there. I live on Massachusetts. That's my hood. Like
The
defend
people
defend
from
until I
Poland
die.
watching this are gonna be like, yeah, it's
they're
true.
used to it. They're used to it.
Yeah,
by now.
it's
But everything Poland, the community Facebook page, has allowed all those people that have always been like, yeah, we're really uptight, to stand up against the snobby people who are like, what are you doing here? And say, listen, you guys need to relax, and we're growing, and we want to adapt, and we want
Yeah.
all these cool things to come to Poland, and all these cool people to come to Poland, so that we're not known as that anymore. And Poland compared to Canfield. Poland, with us doing our stuff, was more...
Canfield with some of the community stuff.
Can I throw in 2 cents here
Yeah,
real quick?
go ahead.
I just think Poland is more, and this is could
Do it,
totally
say
be
it.
wrong. I think Poland is older. Canfield is a lot younger.
I would
Yeah,
agree with
And,
that.
and like from the certain stance,
Pol-
just my opinion.
The Poland, to get back to Poland before we go to Canfield.
Yeah.
The thing with Poland is you have the people, most of the people who went there, parents went there, lived there. It's like the old guard,
Sure,
right? And
right.
then you have people like us. I moved in 2008. Isaac, you just moved in 2000.
Well, I've been in Poland for
yeah.
6 years now. Since
And,
Okay.
and there's a lot of people
Yeah.
moving in. So the problem is there is just this
Yeah.
Yep.
between the old guard and the new guard,
Yeah.
right?
And the people saying we've always done it this way, and we are going to continue to do it this
So-
way, and everybody else is like, dude.
Right. So what happened was with that page, because that was our first page, we really kind of, when we come on there, these two guys, these two outsiders,
Yeah,
we
right.
start a podcast, start talking crap about the village because of the way they're running the show. Like the old guys on the village council, there's 2 or 3 of them, and they're like,
They hate
I
us.
don't know what to do with these guys. Like
Yeah.
at this point, they're just totally at a
Yeah,
loss.
right.
They're accusing us of running for politics, like we're doing it intentionally to
I
try
would
and
never.
yeah.
I would never.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't. have
No,
raffles, by the way.
No. So
crazy.
so that's the problem. But our podcast and our group, like literally the people on that group refer to themselves and the people who follow our as the riffraff.
Okay.
Because we are the riffraff of Poland, and I mean that's I have a sign in the back that says the riffraff.
yeah.
So literally that's what it's almost turning into that. But we can kind of tell. I think it's starting to change a little bit. Like not just with the pod, but just Poland in general. People are like, you know what? We're tired of being snobby. We're tired of having this view. We want to welcome people. We want, and it's.
Yeah, they're starting to become more laid back.
Yep.
So then we made our move on Canfield with everything Canfield, right? Canfield's different.
I like how you worded that, by the way.
Even though, so it's different. Their community is kind of set up like
It's
like communist Russia.
it really is.
Okay? So you would say, hey, like the water situation, right?
Yeah, right.
Water bills.
The water bills being
Triple
crazy
what they are.
crazy
in Poland.
high
Triple.
because they're getting the
Insane.
village, or what would it be, city of Canfield is getting charged by the city of Youngstown and then charged on top of that city of Canfield water. And
Okay.
it's like people have these $1,200 bills for 3 months
it's
worth of
nuts.
water.
It's insane.
So we go to we stream the meeting, the council meeting live, and you have people from Canfield, totally different from Poland, that are like, nothing's wrong with Canfield, don't talk bad about Canfield, we're not going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
we don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's
like that's like,
unbelievable.
don't talk about Mother Russia.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? This is totally different from Poland.
It's true. Yeah.
So like, nothing's wrong with Canfield, everything's fine, you guys don't know what you're talking about. And
But then we had a bunch of
Different
people saying
kind of
thank
culture.
you. We
Yeah.
had people
What we
messaging
needed.
us
Yeah.
saying you guys are the first people to stand up against the village. And it's like, what are they going to do to us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So after we went live on the city thing, this was the best. This was the most fantastic thing ever. The city manager, who is basically like, what's the name of the guy who runs Russia?
Stalin. Like,
Not
Stalin, you want to
Stalin.
Vladimir Putin.
But yeah, he's like Putin. So he has control over basically everything,
Okay.
right? He comes on our Facebook group under the city of Canfield and says, don't listen to this Facebook page. A Facebook is not where you are to get your news or your information. You can call Wayne or AKA me directly.
Yeah.
I will give you the information. Do not use social media to compare water bills. And I was like, I called Isaac. I was like, this dude's out of his freaking mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, so after that, we've been at,
love
Wayne.
it.
Wayne,
Just going
I'm not
crazy.
getting a Christmas card from Wayne anytime soon.
Well, I'm lucky too because where I live in Canfield, I'm on well,
Yeah.
so I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about
Yeah.
paying the water.
Yeah. So, but again, it's slowly though we're pulling back the veil on the government.
Okay.
These little governments
Yeah.
have always been able to just slip things underneath
Sure.
the carpet,
Yeah.
pass things, and it's not happening anymore.
And it allows not even just us, but like it allows the community to hold these people accountable. And it's
Yep.
like, okay, they're under a spotlight now, and
Yep.
we know exactly what they're doing. And if we don't like it, now we have the opportunity to just vote them out, and we can spread the word quickly in these
Yeah.
Facebook groups.
Exactly.
So,
And that's
great.
like, well, everything Youngstown. That's another one too. We haven't really
Yeah.
done anything with I mean, we did threaten Youngstown the other day if they didn't pass the Penguin City.
Oh,
yeah, that's so awesome.
that
That
design
building?
is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went
so
under
cool.
review. So we tagged the.
They're going to be our neighbors down
Dude,
here.
they're
Yeah.
sweet. That
Yeah.
building. If they would have failed that, I would have been leading a
Oh,
revolt.
hell yeah.
And it's
yeah.
hell yeah.
and it's cool because I think like when they came on our podcast, they were talking about it. They want so if you start that over there, they're trying to like connect all of downtown
good.
so
Yes.
that you can somehow create like a trail,
Yeah.
and there'll be bars that'll pop up in between
Oh.
now, and
This
it'll just be a
bu-
long
this
That's
street.
the
building
dream
here.
for downtown Youngstown.
Yeah.
honestly.
I've never
yeah.
been in this building ever in
It's sweet,
41
man.
years. The Commerce building, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
very
sweet.
nice.
Besides the air not working today.
It
But-
is a little. You
besides-
guys see me hitting a little bit. I am
But-
freaking roasted.
But when the air is working, this is
Yeah.
the perfect building.
Yeah.
It's like you got your
perfect
freaking
building.
fireplace on. It's
Yeah, we got the aquarium.
Oh,
going.
trying to
yeah, it
make
is
it
a little
look cooler.
toasty in here right now. I'm glad I went sleeveless. I'm sweating all over their couch.
all the hot air from everybody screaming.
It's all right.
or us
COVID
screaming.
times, we'll wipe it down. We'll
You're
wipe it down.
gonna need some wipes on this because my pits are all over this.
So
right?
gross.
This Todd.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so let me ask you. I'm gonna just ask some random
Love it.
questions now.
Yeah.
We'll get to some sports stuff and we'll go some other random too.
Oh, you're
so
in trouble with
give
sports
me
stuff. Oh, I'm
a
so screwed.
give me a word, and this is for each of you. Give me a word that would best describe each of you. So, or how about this?
I call it-
Flip it. you describe your brother in one word. You describe your brother in one word.
Boy.
Man, we could be really mean about this.
We could.
I'm going to leave that on the table for you guys. You can go PG-13, you can go R, whatever you want.
I'd say Luke's loud or outgoing.
Okay.
He. I guess it's not one.
One word. Sexy.
Damn right.
I was talking about me.
Oh.
Not you.
Well, you're supposed to describe me, so I'll claim sexy.
Isaac is. This is going to surprise a lot of people. Isaac is surprisingly caring. Would
Okay.
be a good word.
Yeah.
Because you don't see that on the podcast, but he is like genuine. Like if you asked our mom, he's like genuinely a good-hearted.
Yeah.
Like does things to be good.
Okay. See, I'm bonding you guys.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what we're doing on here.
Opposite of me, which I enjoy. I thrive in chaos, to be totally honest. with you.
Yeah.
I really do.
But then I would say you're more of like.
This is like a psychologist.
I have these.
This is like psychology.
It's like therapy. It's like
I'm gonna sit here.
couples therapy.
Write this down. Okay, couples
So,
therapy.
and you like I have all these ideas, and I'm like such a planner that I'm nervous it's not gonna work or it's
Yep.
gonna fail, and Luke is just a doer. So like I'm like, Luke, we should do A, B, C, and D, and Luke's like already. I was like, okay, I got it planned out. We're gonna do it next week. I'm like, are you serious? Like, aren't you nervous?
Done.
No, we're doing it. We're jumping. So he's just a doer, man. Like you have an idea, he's not afraid to jump.
Speaking about doer, can you guys see the fan Joe just brought in? He brought a fan in because
Oh no, you can't see it on the TV. You're good. You're good.
Joe brought a fan
That's
in
beautiful.
because I was getting armpit sweat on his futon. Oh, there we go, Joe. Let's get this
we
up.
go.
There we
You
go.
know
All
what,
right.
though? Like, the way you describe that, though, I feel like that fits Joe and I similar, because
Yeah.
Joe's I'm going to go get shit done. I'm a thinker, analyzer. I want to write
Yeah.
stuff down. I'm going to have
Yeah.
lists on top of lists.
I'm like psychotic, like doing stuff, like
Yeah.
like psychotic.
I'm not calling you psychotic.
Yeah, I like do stuff and it's
Yeah.
like done.
But if it was just me, I
Right.
think too much.
Yeah.
So like I get caught planning too
Classic
much
overanalyzing.
and not actually executing. And Luke's like, okay, we're gonna freaking go out and we're gonna do it. And I'm like, okay. Like,
But that's
do
cool,
it.
because you guys balance each other
Yeah,
out. on that
100%.
stuff. That's really cool.
Exactly.
Justin, get a call coming.
Okay.
Oh
All right.
God!
Caller.
Oh, it's got to be our dad.
Caller, go ahead. They on?
What's the phone number?
Caller, are you there?
34.
Please God, don't be the village of Canfield or Poland. Like the mayor of Canfield or the mayor of Poland.
What was? Can we
Did
call
it-
it back? I'll call it back.
Anybody there on the line? All right. Well, we'll try him in a minute. All right.
It was probably the city of Canfield. You
It's like
son
the
of
mayor,
a.
mayor of Canfield.
They're
Don't you-
texting it. They're actually texting it.
Canfield's like, don't you dare talk about Mother Russia.
What's the phone number to call?
Oh, so it's 330-595-1600.
Somebody call us right now. Anybody watching?
And they can win shit too.
Yeah, call and get win and call. I want a phone call.
So how do we win $300?
You gotta guess
Put
the
the three-digit code.
code.
Yeah.
Can I call right now and put a code in?
Yeah. Give me a number between the both of you
What
guys.
are the actual chances of winning a
Well, how many-
three-digit code? Like that's
1,000 different combinations.
Yeah.
yeah.
1 in 1,000.
I guess that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Did anybody do 330 yet?
No.
330.
All right.
Open, you son of a. Oh! Joe, I thought it was it.
Okay,
That made sense, right?
330 has
Here
been
you go.
claimed.
Damn.
All right. Let me ask you guys this: if money were not an option, what would you be doing to pay the bills or in your day job?
Wait,
Instead
money's
of-
not an option, then I'm
instead
not
of
paying my
MLOs.
freaking bills. Oh, me? There is no doubt I would be freaking on a boat in the Bahamas fishing somewhere.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I
I
would
do your podcast anywhere. too, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I could probably do a loan officer. I just can't do it because I'm married with children.
I would definitely.
Oh, we got a caller. There we go. Who's this?
This is Jay.
Jay. Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. What's happening?
Not much. So what's your question?
I just want to know why there's no everything East Liverpool.
Oh, it's freaking Jeremy! Jeremy! Because their pizza's terrible, Jeremy. That's why. You know why.
I was gonna try to hide my voice, but I figured it wouldn't work.
It was good. You had a very low voice going on there. This is Jeremy from the Youngstown Pizza
Yeah, yeah.
Reviews. Have you guys ever had him on? You should think about it.
No, I've talked to him. Me and Lisa Resnick had him
Yeah.
on about the same time he was going to come on. So I let Lisa claim Jeremy, and Jeremy's. We'll get Jeremy on it
Jeremy,
in the near
tell,
future.
tell us why we cannot respect East Liverpool's pizza.
Because they don't melt their cheese. It's ridiculous.
Oh no!
He doesn't melt cheese.
It's got to be hot. It's got to be hot.
We should. You know what, Jerry? You
They swear by it.
keep bringing up East Liverpool. We're gonna start an East Liverpool page, and you're gonna be the admin. So
Oh,
help
that's the
me.
goal.
So help me.
That's the goal.
Is he gonna get to guess his
Yeah,
number?
yeah. Jeremy, you want to guess a 3-digit code?
What's that?
If you want to give me a 3-digit code, you can win $300 and AirPod Pros if you get it right. You got a 1 in
Yeah, let's do
1,000 chance.
816.
816. All right.
Oh,
Incorrect. Well, I'll take 816 off the board. So,
take it off.
Jeremy, real quick before we let you go, and I don't want to give any spoilers or throw you under the bus with any other pizza joints. Give me your top couple pizza places in Youngstown, or in the Mahoning Valley.
Mahoning Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, Mahoning Valley will go. I mean, everyone knows Uptown Pizza's reigns supreme.
Okay.
So they're number one. Wedgewood Pizza is just a staple.
Okay.
And then I'll throw one out for my daughter Gracie, since Bellaria's her number one.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. And
Oh yeah.
and they did. And congratulations, by the way, to your daughter. And she's on the Boardman bowling team, correct?
Oh yeah, phenomenal
Yeah, so
season.
congratulations to
They came up a little
them.
short, but yeah, they're unbelievable. In fact, she's gonna play Luke and Isaac here soon, and I think beat them both by herself.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
2 versus 1.
Yeah.
What's her average?
Let's see. Well, she changed a lot this year. Towards the end of the year, she was averaging in the mid 180s.
Oh wow.
I think if she's 180,
Yeah.
I think we could take her.
Okay.
If she's above 2, Isaac, we're screwed because
Okay.
both of us are not going to bowl above 100.
I've bowled a 204 one time in my life. That's
Really?
my high.
That's actually
my.
really good.
I think my average is probably about 140 in that range.
I think my average
Yeah.
is like
I was-
75.
I got 120 once.
I mean, if she's going to be bowling, I'm going to be like jumping and like yelling her name, and so I'm going to do everything I can to beat her.
Hey, oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And Jeremy, dude, you have no idea how much we appreciate you for always, whenever we're doing anything, you always support us, man. So thank you so much, dude.
Heck yeah, that's what it's all about.
Love you
Same
too,
with you guys.
Jeremy.
Love you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy, we'll
All
get
right,
you.
man.
We'll get you booked on the show sometime soon.
Sit in this spot. My armpits are sweating on this seat.
We'll wipe it down before you
Yeah.
come down.
Just put me on the side where Isaac's sitting.
Yeah, you're good right here, dude.
Thanks for calling in, Jeremy.
All right, man. We'll see you guys.
All right. All right. So you were saying about what you would do if you
If I had
money weren't
unlimited
an option.
money, I always like going to YSU and growing up here and loving it here. I would stay in Youngstown and I would like try and help do anything I can to build up Youngstown to it's not even former glory but new glory.
Okay.
And
Fun factory.
Yeah, fun fact. Build a
We'd build a
like,
fun
fun
factory.
factory.
Yeah, yeah.
That's always on our
Something
top.
awesome.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I feel like the wave of change is coming in Youngstown.
Well,
you can
it's-
see it downtown.
Yeah.
You know, COVID obviously kind of pressed the pause button.
Yeah.
But you can see the waves of change coming. The big thing for me is, coming either from Boardman or Canfield, I generally come down Market Street.
Yes, I
And
drove down that way today,
Market
man.
Street. I mean, that is for your main road coming into downtown Youngstown. You have to fix that up.
It looks like a third world country.
It does.
Let's be honest.
It does.
I mean, shut
And-
down.
I mean-
bad.
Downtown awesome.
Yep.
Like when you get into Boardman, really cool. But like it's that in between area.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Glenwood, I will say they have done a great job with Glenwood.
Yep.
Driving down there, it used
Yeah.
to feel like scary and unsafe.
Mhm.
Now it looks like there's green everywhere.
Yeah.
And it feels safe. And
Market needs
it's
done.
easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Would you-
like
I
the
mean,
south
yeah.
side. It's like just nothingness.
You can
It's like-
count. There's probably 3 businesses out of
Yeah.
100 businesses. Like,
Mhm.
and I don't know. There's no for sale signs. I
Mhm.
think. I don't know. Are people holding on to those to wait to get to somebody to buy them and
I
put
know.
something in?
Well, I used to, when the unwritten rule in Youngstown, back when I was in college and graduating high school was, you turn 19, you're able to drink.
Yeah, you got a freaking Mickey's down there. Yeah.
We would go to. I was a JJ's guy.
Okay, JJ's.
I would go to JJ's.
Yep.
Sometimes the Varsity Club.
Yep.
Randomly Mickey's, but now you look at that area, and it wasn't perfect back then.
But at least it had stuff.
It had stuff, and it like people were out, and now you just look at that area. So
I
like
love the
that's
Varsity
the
Club.
worst area.
I think that was nice. The Varsity Club, high ceiling.
Yeah.
Dance club.
It's kind
I
of like
had-
on the
I was
corner where
lucky
like
enough to
Cardinal
have
Mooney
downtown.
was.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to have downtown. I was at my freshman year at YSU. There was like Warehouse 50 or where the old B-Dubs was, and then campus was like empty. So I lived on campus, and after 8 o'clock during weekdays, there was nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. see, that's a
Absolutely
problem.
nothing to do. We would go to the rec. The rec was new, and then we would just go back and chill in the dorms, and there was nothing. But now there's all
Yeah.
kinds of fun stuff to do. And then 2013, I moved into the Erie Terminal, and I
Okay.
lived in Erie Terminal for the rest of my college career. And downtown, it was like the
Yeah.
uptick of downtown. It was so much fun. It was such a blast.
It's been a good revival, and
Yeah.
even Joe having his business here.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, dude, you would have never thought of that. Never in a million years you would have ever thought of that. So it says a lot about downtown, even just Youngstown studio.
Well, and I think Tressel really gets it too, because you can see he's growing the university, and they have the right people in place that are growing the university out and expanding into the the suburbs and the downtown area a little bit. And the more that can grow and spread out, the better it's going to be for the entire city of Youngstown
Awesome,
as well.
for sure.
So, all right, let me throw a few sports questions at you guys.
Oh, you're
Bad
so
with
screwed.
sports.
Did-
I'm screwed.
Did
I don't
did
pay
either of you guys
attention
play
enough.
sports growing up?
Yeah.
He played soccer, if you
I
count
played.
that.
I played soccer and basketball.
Okay.
I played football and basketball.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Okay.
ask Isaac a sports question.
Please
He's
don't
just,
ask me a
he's
sports
just not very.
I'm asking very generic,
All right.
general
Cleveland
questions.
Browns, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask.
Go Browns.
So next question, what's your favorite
Browns.
sports team?
Browns all day.
Okay, Browns.
For sure.
Browns
All day. All day. I
Phenomenal
follow
season.
them podcast. I listen to podcast. I listen.
Cavs.
I've officially been kicked off of Tony Russo's Twitter. Like
Okay.
I got blocked by Tony
Oh, God.
because of trolling him. So
Okay.
yeah.
I feel like I'm that Browns fan that I'm like a perfect example of the Browns fan. Like, you're not really a Browns fan. Name 5 players that play on the Browns. Like, I probably can.
You can name 5.
You can name 5.
Name 5 right now. Come on.
Dude, don't do this.
Come on,
this
name
is exactly
5.
what I didn't
Name
want to
5.
happen.
Name 5
I will
Browns
walk
fans.
out of this interview.
Dude, you know the running back. I'll help you. Running back.
You got Chubb, you got Hunt, you
Okay,
got
there's 2.
Quarterback. Who's quarterback?
Baker, you got
Receivers. Dude, you're there.
Jarvis. and
Yeah.
you- oh my God, the one with the hair. Oh my God. OBJ.
Okay.
OBJ.
Okay.
5.
There's
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Uh,
Defensive back. Defensive.
You got Njoku. You got.
Yeah, dude.
Look at him go.
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
I'm not giving myself.
The defensive end, the huge dude that your
Oh my
girlfriend
God.
loves. That your girlfriend loves.
Yeah, yeah.
Leave you in a
see
heartbeat.
him? He's
Like a
freaking
shirt.
enormous. Yeah.
MG.
MG.
Yeah. Miles Garrett. Yes.
There you go.
I mean,
Yes,
you're
yes,
right.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. I guess.
That's
But
a-
still,
yeah.
like.
People's
Oh,
Jones.
Zendablo.
I think he's gone.
He's
I
gone
think,
now.
I think he's no longer on the team.
Zendablo.
Yeah, Zimbabwe. He was
Absolute
he made me
liability on
so
defense.
bad. That guy. Are you a Browns fan?
Oh yeah.
That guy, they specifically picked on him.
Yeah.
When they would, a couple teams, they figured it out. Put a guy in motion, see man to man, dump the ball.
Yeah.
I was
Literally,
like, how freaking ridiculous
I know
is
nothing
this?
about like football and defense, and I was like, they're literally going to his side
Oh,
every single time on
every
purpose because he's such a
time.
liability.
Every
It's
game.
like embarrassing.
Every game.
They really bolstered that secondary.
Oh,
One of
they
the guys
sure
they
did.
got, Hill
Youngstown.
from Youngstown.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So
He was there
yeah,
till he was
hopefully.
like 16,
Yeah, yeah.
15, something like that. But yeah, he's excited. I'm excited. They
Oh,
filled
heck
in
yeah.
all those gaps.
Mhm.
A little bit. I'm
think there's
excited to
still
see
more
the
coming,
draft.
too.
Oh, absolutely.
there's
They're going to
still
pick
more
up. My guess would be they're going to take a defensive back
Okay.
in that first round, and
Okay.
then that'll fill it in, and then I pick and choose.
We
and
might
there you go.
overlap on your guys' show a little bit on Thursday, April 29th.
Son of a-
Maybe we'll like incorporate it into
I
our
don't think
show.
we have a
'cause
show on the 29th yet.
Because we're doing
We don't.
we're doing a live draft show.
We
that
don't have a
night.
show.
So maybe you guys can be part of that show then.
I'd be a part of that show.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Sure.
All right,
I'll just
I'm
kind
in.
of.
We're sending 2 roving reporters, one to the Magic Tree and one to West Side Bowl, and we're going to check in with
Lisa
restaurants to see how they're
Resnick
doing on that day.
Ooh.
What do you? reporters to do just to check what people are doing at the
Yeah.
They're
bar.
gonna hang
That's
in,
pretty sweet.
report
That's a
back.
sweet
We're
idea.
gonna
idea.
we're trying to pit one against the other, and make one the Browns location and one the Steelers location.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
We don't have anything for that, so figure out
Maybe
a way
we'll
to.
throw you guys out in the field then.
Yeah.
I
Or
can't
you
go. I
come
have
in
too many
studio.
children.
Oh.
Yeah, bring me here. I can't go anywhere.
Honestly,
Bring the
would
kids
not be
down.
a great sports live reporter. Like I don't know that.
You actually be perfect. You can ask like random questions.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So, what do you think of the
We'll team
Browns?
up. We'll team up on this one.
I like it. I'm in. I'm in on the draft thing
All right.
for sure.
How about favorite athletes? Either growing up or current.
Growing up was Webster Slaughter from the
Oh,
Cleveland Browns.
love Webster
Slaughter, Cleveland Browns. I was number 84 all
Yep.
the way through. Well, change that. When I switched in high school I went from a fullback to a wide receiver, not a split end. It was like a halfback, wing back position. I went to 84 because of Webster Slaughter, and then before that I was 32
Okay.
for what's his name?
I loved growing up with. I mean, this is going to be pretty simple, but loved growing up with LeBron
Yeah.
and not knowing really because I never really followed sports, but other than playing basketball, so I respected him because of that. But then not knowing about how the awesomeness of Michael Jordan and everybody talking about how awesome he is,
Yeah.
and then watching that documentary,
Oh,
that was
that
the
was
coolest
sweet.
thing I've ever
So
seen.
good.
That made me want to go play basketball again.
Yeah,
Okay.
that thing
But
was sweet.
seeing his respect from the other players and comparing that to what I learned about LeBron James and having LeBron growing up, I thought, I think it was great.
The one that I like now that I keep telling my kid to be like is Nick freaking Chubb.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he's a great.
Doesn't say a word.
Nope.
Doesn't spike the ball. Just works. Everybody's like, dude, he is like all like that is what I keep
All
saying.
business.
All business.
Yeah.
That guy is like, if I wanted somebody like that guy.
How about when he ran out on the 1 yard line?
Oh, dude, talk about
he destroyed the
unselfish.
line. He
The
destroyed
only people
the
that
line.
pissed off was Betters.
But who cares? That is like the most
Right.
unselfish. I mean, if that
Right.
is the most
Oh.
unselfish move, like he ran out, we're like,
Yeah.
what the hell did he do that for?
We have a pick'em in our office between me, Luke, and O'Keel, and you each pick 4 NFL teams and against the line.
Okay.
And O'Keel had the Browns line, and they were. I think it was a point difference, and I was like, run out of bounds, Chubb, run out of bounds, Chubb, run, and he does, and I'm like, I text O'Keel, I'm like, oh, that hurts so bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, in the interview though, the guy after the post game, he literally said, Baker said run out of bounds if I got the ball, if I got a breakaway, I ran out of bounds. I do what my quarterback says.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this guy.
He's awesome.
I mean, that guy. I mean, no player anywhere would do that.
Exactly.
No
Yeah.
player ever in the history of
Yeah.
sports would do that. It was unbelievable. So I just that's it.
How about favorite? I just did a sports movie bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite sports movies or movie.
Remember the Titans.
That's the one that
Damn.
won our bracket.
Did it? That's a
And out
really
of
good
96
sport.
Really?
movies, that
Wow.
one came out on top.
I loved Coach Carter,
Yep.
basketball
Great
movie that's
movie.
real good.
If I say Kicking and Screaming, is that
Yeah,
it?
that was on our list.
Was it? Kicking and Screaming is a great
Yep.
movie with Will Ferrell, the soccer movie.
Yeah.
Kick it to the Italians.
What was Take it to the Italian
Did you ever see that
kids.
movie?
Yeah, for sure. You just drinking coffee the entire
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Freaking Dicka.
What's the oh my god, the Michael Jordan with the Looney Tunes.
Oh,
Oh,
Space,
Space
Jam.
Jam. That's a classic,
yeah.
Great. I watched that so many times as a kid.
Okay.
What else is good?
Remember the Titans is probably the
yeah.
best one though.
Overrated. We Are Marshall. Hated it.
Bro,
Huh.
Did not like it.
that had to be on the list, right?
It was on the list. Yep.
Did not
Our
like that
final
one.
4 was because we had a baseball, basketball, football, and other sports. Our final 4 was Major League,
Major League's good.
Really good movie.
Hoosiers,
Okay.
Okay.
I like that one.
Remember the Titans, and Rocky. Those were the 4 that made it.
Rocky.
Final 4. Well, and we put the Rocky as like a series.
Yeah,
So we didn't do 1, 2,
Rocky's
3,
a good
4.
one too.
Sylvester Stallone's overrated. I just never liked his movies.
That's a really good. Those are like award.
Rocky 4 is, I think, the best.
overrated too.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like Family Guy, it insists upon
It
itself.
insists. Why do you not like it? It insists upon it.
The
What does
God.
that even mean?
Sorry, if you've
You
never.
can totally tell you guys are brothers.
Yeah.
It is. We get
don't like
our mom just is like and wife is just like
And my
they
fiancé, yeah.
can't be like we can't because we just feed off of each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
And it's just like we're around each other and
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like a giant just turns
And like
into
we just
director.
attack our sisters. Like
Yeah, our
we
sisters
start
are-
just and my mom like
Oh, it's so
that's
funny.
but it insists upon itself.
All right, here's a couple more random ones.
Love 'em.
Early morning or late night? Like people.
We had this talk. We just
We
asked this
just
the other
talked
day.
about this on Easter.
Okay.
I am early morning.
Okay.
I because I can't sleep anymore for some reason. Would be one, so I wake up early, and I have 3 boys, 10, 6, and 2. So you wake up at like 5, drink coffee, sit with my cat or my dog, watch TV, and then they all come down, and it's like, gosh, here we go. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
right.
so, and I'm in bed by 10.
It's like your peace before the
It
storm.
is
Yeah.
exactly. That's my alone time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely a morning person as well.
Okay.
I'd really rather get work done in the morning than do it late at night, and I fall asleep if I could, I'd fall asleep at 9 o'clock every
Yeah,
night.
I don't function
Except for
without sleep.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, right?
Except for Tuesdays and Thursdays. But even at the end, you can see like, okay, we gotta go to bed. I'm tired.
I immediately.
That's
It's
fair.
exhausting.
It is. It's
Doing
but
the
it's great.
podcast is exhausting. I get tired.
It is. And the people that don't do podcasts that just watch think you just like show up that day.
Yeah, it's
like
exhausting.
there's if you have a guest, there's some research, there's some prep.
Sometimes.
If you do, yeah. Well, I was thinking you would be the big time researcher
No,
because you're the
he's not
over
at all. You don't,
analyzer.
have you ever done anything
So
research-wise?
the good thing about us is he can start because we're brothers, he can start thinking something and start asking a question, and I can be like, I know where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
I know where he's going with this, so I can just build off of him, which
Okay.
is great because that means I don't have to do any research. But
Yeah.
if I'm by myself, like I've had it a couple times where I'm by myself, and I had like a judge on, which was super freaking boring. But I had to research. I had to research and get some good questions. So
Yeah.
because I didn't have him.
Right,
you know,
right.
So.
we and he says that we do feed off of each other good
Yeah.
because it's kind of like I think it goes to the big brother little brother rule. If
Yeah.
you watch the show, it really does. Because I'd be lying if I don't. I'd probably talk more
Oh, for sure.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
And then he kind of feeds in, but it's
Sure.
like a
Yeah.
big brother little brother.
Right. Okay.
But I get some good questions.
You
off
do.
Of,
You do.
Off of you.
Yeah, That's yeah. good.
Rambling. So
I think
Off of you
the
rambling.
biggest skill I've learned, in being a teacher, I did a lot of talking in my past, but I think the biggest skill I've learned from doing this stuff is just listening to other people talk. Because then you build on other questions off of
100%.
that.
Yeah.
Questions maybe you didn't have prepared or didn't think of.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing
and
for
we
me.
talk so much. I try and okay, I have to listen and I have to pay
We have
attention
to let our
so
guests
that
talk.
I can ask good questions
Yeah, yeah.
because it's not everybody hears us talk all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't get to hear the person running for mayor that has all these great ideas.
Yeah.
So you got to listen. You
Okay.
really do.
All right, so since you're both morning people, you can only choose one of these for the rest of your life. Coffee or alcohol?
Coffee. I'm 41. It's coffee all day. I don't freaking care for coffee.
Some of the best times of my life were spent
Yeah.
hammered.
But you're 26. You're getting married this summer. You're on your way down.
Congratulations.
Oh, so you want to have my wedding in August?
Can we
and
wait
not
till
have
after
You can
alcohol?
only
Yeah,
drink
they did.
coffee at that wedding.
Well,
You don't wanna have alcohol?
Oh, man. And the bachelor party?
Like, see,
Can we go live during a bachelor
See,
party?
they're both vices, and you can get addicted to both. So I think I would eventually. I mean, it would be a hard road, but I could get over coffee.
I would murder someone if I didn't have coffee.
I
would murder. I didn't be in prison.
Can I have tea?
I need caffeine. I
Can I have tea?
I hate to say
I'll
this.
let tea fly.
Oh, I'm boozing it up, baby. I'm getting rid of coffee. I can drink.
If I
can
can't
drink-
have caffeine, it's going to be alcohol and
And it's
cocaine.
not like-
cocaine then,
it's not
because
like
I'm
I-
not going to be able. I'm not going to be able to make it.
Turn to coffee.
Take away my. You know what? Yeah. Write that down in the notes.
This question went off.
If you take away my coffee, I'm doing alcohol and cocaine.
What's Luke doing to wake up in the morning? He does a little 8-ball. Well,
It's like, did you ever see that movie Denzel Washington in Flight?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna wake
It's like,
up
give him a
and
little bump.
yeah.
Give him a little banana boat.
You're gonna walk into my office in Poland. It's gonna like freaking Scarface.
yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, I think waking up, I could eventually. Well, I could drink tea, but then it's not like I drink
There is-
every single day because I don't. It's just on the weekends. It's a social lubricant.
My boys literally when they come downstairs like, do you have your coffee yet? Like they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know if like
Oh,
you know.
I can't ask work questions until 10. I gotta get a pipe full of coffee.
Well, I gave up. I told you guys before. I gave up alcohol for Lent, so about
Yeah.
46, 47 days. And somebody asked me, "Oh, did you lose any weight?" I said, "I actually probably put on weight because alcohol relieves my stress."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
you eat
stress
freaking
eating.
brownies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but
That's a great question.
For me, that's such a tough question.
Yeah.
I think I asked you guys that because I can't answer it myself.
Yeah.
So
That is terrible.
And
There's
like-
so many bad
and-
roads on that one.
It's just you have buddies you haven't seen in a while, and they're like, hey,
You
let's
wanna
go
drink?
out and have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
That's like the best time ever, catching up with people
Other
and
than
drinking.
like me at this point though, and like I said, because I'm so freaking busy, we have sports every day,
Yeah.
and practice every. I would say the only time I ever really drink is weddings, funerals, and that's about it.
weddings, funerals.
Oh, the lake house. When we go to the lake, our parents
Yeah,
live
4th
at
of
the lake
July.
4th of July parties.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not a sit down and just get drunk.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you could like sub it with like pre-workout or something and really get your blood flowing.
Workout instead of coffee. What are you drinking, Mr. Hyde?
Yeah, Mr. Hyde at 8 a.m.
oh my god.
I could do that. I guess you're right.
All right. These last ones. I got about 5 or 6 more
Go.
random.
I love
ones.
these questions. Go
All
ahead.
right. Would you rather be half your height or double your weight?
Man.
Double my weight.
Do I have the ability to lose weight?
double my weight?
Sure.
I do double my weight.
If,
Okay.
if I double my weight, I'm going to be on that Dr. Navarro show, the 600-pound life.
I'd be wheeling you in here.
You're like, hey. So
Yeah.
I'm 6'3".
Okay.
So that would put me at.
You'd be a 3 1.5.
I'd probably want to be 600 pounds.
I know. That's why I said I'd be wheeling you in here.
I'd want to be
Struggling. No. My 420-pound self would be wheeling you in here.
Like we wouldn't be able to get by the the
No,
stuff.
no, we'd struggle.
Like, it's like,
struggle.
yeah, I'd rather be 600.
My
Okay.
420-pound self would have to. We'd change our name to the Motor Scooter Brothers.
Like it'd be like this guys. Oh, that's a
Motor
great
Scooter
question.
Bros.
Yeah, I would
Because
rather
you can
be.
take weight off. You can't add height. You cannot get
that's
taller.
That's a good way of
3'1".
looking at it.
Yeah.
That's a
3
good way
foot
of
2,
looking at
3
it.
foot 1.5.
Yeah. And you just gotta start doing a 30-minute walk a day and you lose weight.
At
that point,
600, I'm not walking.
At that point.
At 600, it's gonna be like the exercise you do, like 1,
Oh my
2.
god.
Oh, I
Or-
just kicked the mic, Joe.
I mean,
That's all
height though, I'm like almost 6'4".
There's no way.
So, what is that?
What about you?
I kind of like your answer. I kind of think you can take the weight off,
Yeah.
but you can't get taller.
Yeah, I would.
Oh,
I would
that's
not
so
want to be
funny.
shorter. And there are like, Shelby, my fiance, is almost. She's 5'10", almost 6 foot.
Any
Like,
half a height, though, you're gonna be short.
Yeah, Shelby would never
if
never
you're-
talked to me.
If you're 8 feet tall, right now, you take half, you're 4 feet.
Yeah,
There's no way. That if you
All
don't
right,
say
let me
what,
ask this then: would you rather be 4'2" or 8'2"?
8'2" all day.
8'2". I would be freaking pro somewhere.
Okay.
8'2".
All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's an easier one. That's a softball.
Yeah.
All right. So, would you rather? Would you always, and keep in mind, you guys do a podcast where you got to stream it.
Okay.
Would you always be stuck in traffic, or would you always have slow internet? Oh, you're stuck in traffic everywhere you go.
Oh my God.
Grocery store.
It's like my
trips.
head's gonna explode. Always stuck in traffic, or slow internet.
Always.
Oh God, I feel like I'm always stuck in traffic now. Do you guys have? Speaking of that, total sidetrack. Do you guys have streaming or broadband here?
Yeah.
So downtown has broadband. It's the,
It's the south side. It's the
outlying
south side
parts.
doesn't
Yeah,
have
that blew my mind the other day. Sorry. Get Youngstown leaders, get broadband for your people.
Yeah. I blame Armstrong.
Honestly, I'd rather be stuck in traffic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Alright.
buy a Tesla, and I'm just gonna sit in traffic all day and work from the car.
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah.
do that
Yeah.
because the slow internet drives me crazy.
Yeah. Oh God.
Your Tesla's not self-piloting yet, is it?
It's getting there.
It's getting there?
close.
Okay.
So is it
All right.
adapting? Like the software keeps updating for Youngstown, and
It is.
that
It's
what it
getting
is?
better. Every time they do an update, it gets a little better.
Really?
I did hear Elon Musk say in 20 years, and this was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, he said in 20 years he thinks there'll be more autonomous vehicles on the road than
There's no doubt.
than actual self-driving cars.
and their respect for him in terms of like he thinks of all these crazy things, and he's just totally open about it, and
Yeah.
he doesn't copyright or anything because
Yeah.
he wants everyone to grow together. It's like, dude, that is so.
As
that's such
soon
a
as they
boss move.
offer one like a true, I'll buy it because that would put so much more time,
and
driving around.
safety,
Yeah, right.
safety,
Right.
time.
because you're an idiot when you drive.
I could nap when I'm doing it.
Oh.
Well, you're not allowed to drive, right? You're not allowed to like when it's driving around, Joe, right? You're not allowed to.
It's got me home a couple times when I probably shouldn't have or
Really?
couldn't have gotten home. Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, Elon Musk was on Rogan. He's talking about it. He's like, yeah, you can. He's like, you can play video games on the Tesla while you're driving. They're like, well, I thought you were supposed to have your hands on the wheel. He's like, oh, you just say you're a passenger. So he's like, the monitor will say, hey, you're driving. You shouldn't be playing this game. But then you just click it and say, oh, I'm a passenger.
Oh.
So you can play video games in
It's
traffic.
the same thing as
like Galaga.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
It's the same thing as the little GPS app. What's it called? Waze.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a passenger.
Yeah.
You're not driving.
Exactly.
Got it. Wow.
All right. I think this is the toughest question.
All right.
This is totally random. If you had to pick one ambassador for the entire Mahoning Valley, someone that represents us all, and you guys have had a ton of people on your show that maybe could even be that person, who would you pick for everything Mahoning Valley?
Wow.
And if you don't want to answer, I'll let you slide on that.
I don't
want to.
even
I don't
know.
want to put you on the spot too much.
That's such a big group, a group of diverse people to represent all of Mahoning
Yeah,
Valley.
like Youngstown, Warren, Columbiana, all of that.
Honestly, I know. I know right now.
I know mine.
Ruley.
Really?
Michael Ruley.
Senator Ruley?
Senator Ruley, who
Okay.
kind of already does, actually.
Okay.
And he's
All right.
been here forever.
And he is labeled Republican, but that is the most...
He used to be a Democrat. I
He
believe.
used to be a Democrat.
Used to be a Democrat and played in a punk rock band.
Yeah, I would say Senator Ruley. Of all the people we've interviewed,
It
of all
doesn't
the
have
people...
to be anyone you've interviewed, but that's
Yeah,
a good,
no, I'm just saying, honestly.
Okay.
Everybody knows him because of his name.
Yeah.
Everybody...
And we're betting he's going to go up against Tim Ryan.
Well, I think Tim Ryan's not going to rerun.
He's such a little squirmy.
He is. So,
Squirmy
but I would
word.
say, has Tim Ryan been on the show yet?
No.
Let us know when he's on. We want to drop in.
Yeah, we're going to stop by. He refuses. I called him like 10
Okay.
times in
Isaac
a row.
called him like 10 times, 10 days in a row. They're never gonna call back.
I've
Kind of representative are you?
Assign him a
I've never
song.
met Tim Ryan, so I have no judgment one way or the
Yeah,
other.
so
So
Senator
he
Ruley.
won't run against Ruley because he knows
He'll
Ruley
lose.
Brothers
100%.
represents what we are.
How does he is a Republican? Ruley is a Republican that got into office. Why? In our area. You know why? The name. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that guy from his grocery store.
Sure.
That's why he won.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
your pick?
Do you have a rep?
I don't know, man.
And you don't have to have one. It's
That's
all
a
right.
good question.
My rep would be Jim Tressel.
Ooh, that's
I
a
like
good
Tressel.
one.
And,
I was
and
thinking
sort
that.
of kind of does with YSU, but
Yeah.
I just think
Everybody knows him.
everybody
yeah.
knows him. He's a great guy.
The only reason I wouldn't pick Tressel, and I thought about that, he hasn't been here long enough.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He hasn't been here long enough. As much as all the awesome things he's done for campus and driving through, it's always changing now. and
From
it's so
Youngstown?
cool.
He's not.
He's from Berea, I believe,
Okay.
or up in
But
the
he
Cleveland
was,
area.
I guess he did coach. I guess he's been here. He coached at YSU.
He's been here
in
a
the
long
90s.
time
He's been
now.
here a long
He's
time
been here
now.
longer
His,
than
But
you.
if he
his
probably.
came
all went
back-
through Boardman.
Yeah, he's
All graduated
probably
from
been here
Boardman.
longer than you.
That's true. I guess he has then. That would be a
Did
good
live
one.
in Columbus for about, 10
Yeah.
years or so.
Yeah, but he did leave. He did leave.
It's hard to turn down
You
the
go
Ohio State
coach to
Buckeye
the
job.
Buckeyes.
Still
Sorry, I got it.
He
Still
didn't
left.
like LeBron leaving.
Yeah, he didn't leave me.
He took his talents to Columbus.
Wow.
That is true. That is true.
Good questions, man.
All right. I'm wearing this shirt. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people stand the hell up on the airplane as
Hate
it
it.
freaking lands.
the plane
Another
lands.
one is when
The
they
clapping.
start clapping. Like, stop that. That's their job.
I hate at the airplane, when we talk about the airplane, is getting in line to get on the plane before your number's called. Like you're rushing to go
I know.
wait. It drives me crazy.
All right, but my biggest pet peeve, and you mentioned Ruley,
Mm-hmm.
and people that don't put away their shopping carts.
Yep, 100%.
That's my biggest pet peeve, I think, and I probably have a list of about 50 of them. Give me yours. Biggest pet peeve, and through those everything talk pages, you could probably nitpick a few things.
You want to go first this time?
I need to think of something.
All
Because
right.
everything
So,
Luke
and
does
I did
is
not
just
prep
drive
these
me
guys
crazy.
with
Yeah.
these questions.
I was gonna say,
Everything you
could you?
do-
How about your biggest pet peeve with me and biggest pet peeve with you?
My biggest pet peeve with you is when, I am organized, and he is an absolute train wreck of a mess.
True.
Because he's got so much going on, and it's like,
That's the kids too. You know you have 3
Yeah, it's
kids.
pretty much my whole life.
You gotta juggle a lot. Though.
it's so bad.
Not blaming the kids. I'm saying in part because you have children.
I am so all over the place. I paid my little sister, his older my sister, $60 to clean my closet because I didn't want to, because it was so
It's
messy.
so bad. It's so bad. The thing that drives me the most crazy, you just leave crap
Everywhere.
everywhere. Like,
Right.
we got our cars cleaned. We got our cars detailed by, oh my God.
The detail doctor.
Detail doctor
Yeah,
on
yeah.
South Avenue. Great place. And he's a Poland firefighter, so we're happy to support him.
Yeah, nice.
We get our car detailed last week. This dude, freaking, after my car's detailed, he has his car detailed the next day. I bring him to get his car, to drop him off so he can pick up his car. And he's like, getting in the car, and he looks at me, and he has a Diet Coke in his hand, and he just opens the Diet Coke.
Just look right at him.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And he's like drinking, and he's like, and he just looks at me, he knows I'm gonna get pissed, and he does it anyways, because he's my older brother, and it's just to annoy the crap out of me. And then we get there, and he just, okay, see you later, man. Thanks for driving me by. And he like hops out of the car and tries to leave the Diet Coke can in my car. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
So I get out. He leaves the window open, and I'm getting ready to throw it in his car. He's like, don't you do it. So then I open up my car, which is just clean. I take it. I look at him. I put it right on my seat,
just
open.
like tosses it on the seat. I'm like, you're disgusting. You're so frustrated.
So funny. I would say for Isaac, you were late for freaking everything.
He did mention that earlier before the show.
I was on time.
Fair. You were on.
It was
We
on
said
time.
12:45.
I guess it's the.
You're
I'm
late
so,
for him. We literally have to say, Isaac, we're meeting up at 12, and everybody knows it's 12:30. Like, I want you to know
Listen,
that. Mom
if it's
says
a
that
family
now.
event-
Mom does that now.
If it's a family event, it is not my fault. I know Shelby won't watch this because she never watches any of our podcasts or anything.
we have no
Totally my fiance.
I'm
Like,
just saying.
I
Mom's
have
like,
to
hey,
tell her.
we're meeting at 3. It's really 2:30. Tell your brother. Or we're meeting at 3. We're meeting at 3. Tell your brother it's
Dude.
2:30.
She starts getting ready and is like, it's 2 hours before, and she still draws it out to the point where we're late.
Let me tell you the positive with that, though. No one expects him to be on time then. So when he is on time, it's like
It's
a
a
nice
miracle.
surprise.
Yeah, miracle.
So
I was never like that either.
Undersell, overperform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a
But I'm so used to
Philosophy of life.
you're 10 minutes early or 15 minutes late, like the basketball. You have to show up to practice 15
I'm always
minutes.
early. Yeah, I'm early for
Yeah,
everything. I was
yeah.
sitting on a parking lot today.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't late though. I did get here at 12:50.
It's true. It's true.
All right. Let me 3 more questions.
All right.
Favorite thing about Youngstown, or it could be a business, it could be a place, it could be a thing to do.
So Youngstown is so, like, we are literally one big family, and you don't realize it until you move. So my buddy, I haven't moved out of the area yet, but my buddy moved down to Charlotte to teach.
Okay.
Because he couldn't get a job up here in Youngstown because it's so competitive.
Yeah.
So he moved down to Charlotte, and he's like, Isaac, you don't realize it until you leave Youngstown, but you know how we always bicker about the Browns and the Steelers, but it's because everybody's been here so long. You picked your
Yeah.
team, and you're fighting, and you do anything to defend your team, and we have the whole pizza thing. It's just everybody defends their own pizza that they love in Youngstown.
right.
But you go to Charlotte, and it's a town where everybody's moving there, and it's just this big, huge town,
Transplants.
and everybody's transplants. So nobody's going to school wearing their team's gear. It's
Okay.
like teams from all over the United States because everybody moved there.
Sure.
It's not like he's like it's different. It doesn't feel the same. And now he moved back and he's teaching in East Palestine.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's just I love that about Youngstown. I really do.
Okay. Very good. I like that answer.
Best thing about Youngstown, Mill Creek Park. 100% gem of our area.
It really is.
It really biggest. What is it? Biggest park in a
Owned
town.
by the
Oh yeah,
community.
by far one of the best places you could go. Bring
Okay.
the kids there all the time. that is the gem of Youngstown.
Lots of people my age are moving in there too.
Yeah, it's
moving into
amazing.
houses over there.
Amazing.
Park area.
Golf, trails.
Yeah, great answer. All right. Who would? Oh, you know what? Let me ask this question last. This is kind of a sports question, but so if I gave you played basketball.
Yeah.
Did you play basketball at all?
Did.
Okay. All right. If I gave you 10, you can't practice. If I gave you 10 half-court shots, you get 10 shots.
Yeah.
You got to just make one. If you hit one out of the 10, you get $1 million. If you miss all 10, you go to prison for a year. Do you take the shot? Do you take the chance?
10 shots?
Mm-hmm.
I would totally psych myself out and airball everyone.
I know. I was thinking the same
I would
thing.
totally psych myself out.
I would be such a bitch in prison.
I would
$1 million.
I think I could hit 1 out of 10. I think I would do it.
I don't know, man.
I think you could do it. 1 out of 10 from half court.
I don't think so, dude.
I think with the
in the back of your head,
Do you think-
I'm going to
do you get
prison. if I
practice
don't
time?
make one. No, he said no,
No
practice.
practice. No practice. Let's say you miss the first 6. Imagine that pressure that's
Yeah.
mounting 7, 8,
Yeah.
9, 10. That pressure just
It's like the
escalates.
dude. It's like the dude who had like 10 Bitcoin on a flash drive, right? And he had it in a security box, and he had like 10 password guesses, right?
To get it, he could.
And nobody remembers their password from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Good point.
if he unlocks it and you get 10 shots at the password, if you unlock it, you get that 2 million. But if you don't get the 10 if you don't get 1 out of the 10, you
You're
lose the
done.
money forever.
Wow.
So
I'd still try it. A year in prison probably doesn't sound too bad right now. Live in my house. Live in my house with 3 kids.
screw that. I'd do it if
Sounds like a vacation. 3
you get-
spare meals.
I'd psych myself
Snuggling.
out. I'd psych myself out if I just didn't get the money. Like if I don't even go to prison, if I
Dude,
don't
but
make the 10,
prison's
I don't
gonna
get
make
the
it
money.
way worse.
Yeah, there's got to be some consequence.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
shooting.
I would never do that.
I'm making it.
Okay.
I'm making it.
All right.
I'm making it.
All right. Final question, and I kind of like this one. I think it's fun. Who would, since you guys host your own podcast, and you've had a ton of guests on, but you can pick anyone in the world to have on your show, who would your ultimate podcast guest be, or group, or whatever?
Ooh, that's a good one. Anybody in the world. Honestly, you want to get the most views? Donald Trump.
That is-
Not
dude,
because
he
not
would get a
because
solid amount of viewership.
not because
Imagine some of the comments. On
yeah, not
That
yeah.
would be so good.
You would have, if you said Donald Trump, you would get everybody in the United States watching that. You would be at
Dude, if you did
billion.
if you did Biden right now,
you'd get more with Donald Trump.
I think
I
you would.
think
You would
so,
get
too.
both sides with
The
Donald Trump.
controversy.
Donald Trump would be my number 1 pick right now.
Okay.
And like half of the United States would end up hating us because of it.
Yeah, you'd have half hate, half love.
Yeah.
We just call it down the middle though. You don't got to be political.
I'd call up our sponsors and tell Mayor Tim to pound salt because
We're about to get 45. How many people are in the? I mean,
better
you would
step
get,
up. Better
You
step
would
up.
get. You would get so.
You
many
get all the QAnon people.
Yeah, you would
and
get so.
you
Yeah,
get
Donald
all the-
Trump.
That'd be brutal.
Donald Trump. Your pick? Could you pick? You can't beat that. There's no way. Donald Trump.
I would pick Joe Rogan, but it would be like he I feel like he would never want anything to do with us because
You
we're
know
so
what was
boring.
cool? Like you said, like Kelly Pavlik was on our show.
Yep.
Like,
He was on ours, too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he's awesome. And like before he came in, me and him were talking, and he was talking about how earlier that spring he was on the
Yep.
Joe Rogan show, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
is just cool. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, we're only 2 degrees of separation from,
From Joe Rogan.
Yes.
What was funny about Pavlik though was he was like amazed that he got to go on it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
like, dude, I couldn't believe
That's
it.
the
know.
respect. Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like interrogating him. I was like, what was it like? What did he?
Yeah,
What did he
yeah.
act like? What was it like before? What was it like?
Well, do you guys know who Tony Hinchcliffe is at all?
Yeah, yeah.
Local comedian.
Yeah, he's from Akron, right?
I think he graduated from Ursuline.
Wow.
Graduated from
Didn't know
Ursuline.
that.
From Youngstown, lives in LA, one of the top comedians
Yeah.
in the country now. But like Kelly Pavlik was telling me a story of how him, Joe Rogan, and Tony Hinchcliffe were just out in Columbus
Yeah.
one night, and I just thought that was like
That's
the coolest
crazy.
thing.
Yeah.
So
He said, yeah, Rogan like asked him to go to dinner, and then they went to dinner. And he's like, I want you to come on the show and talk. And he's like,
Yeah.
really? Like, you want to have me on your show?
Yeah, it's crazy.
so cool, so cool. Well, real quick before we go, can you guys? You know, most people that are watching this probably have seen your podcast.
I would assume,
but
yeah.
any of our viewers that maybe haven't seen
Yeah.
or listened, tell us where they can, reach out,
Right,
find you
Isaac.
guys on social media.
So the MLO Bros or the MLO Bros on Facebook, Instagram. We're on YouTube,
Joe.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Twitch,
Twitch, Tinder,
Check us out on Tinder.
Grinder.
swipe right, swipe left,
Grindr.
Please swipe right. No, but yeah.
OnlyFans.
Tuesdays, OnlyFans. Luke shows his butt.
I do all the time. $20 will show my
We
butt.
go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Facebook, and all those except Instagram. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. You can watch our main podcast. We're always dropping random
Stuff.
videos throughout the day and memes and stuff on our Facebook page. So go follow us there. Also, if you haven't, join our community Facebook groups. Like everything Youngstown, everything Poland, everything Boardman, everything Canfield, all of them. All those groups need great community people and community involvement. It makes it more fun for everybody. So
And calls to refi purchase.
yeah, we are loan officers too. The MLO
We need
Bros are
business.
loan officers. My NMLS number is 1949316. What's yours?
562-548.
So think of us,
Refinance.
if you're purchasing a
Purchase.
house or refinancing, you need help with that, please give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We'll beat any bank.
Come on our show, Tim Ryan.
Come on if you're listening, Tim
Jerk.
Ryan.
Come on our show.
Well, gentlemen, Luke, Isaac,
Thanks.
can't thank you guys enough.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
28th? No, what's the date?
29th.
29th. You're coming? No. What day are you coming?
No. Oh, 22nd.
Both of you
I
guys
believe.
come on.
Yeah,
I think it'll
Joe's
22nd.
coming too?
Yeah.
22nd.
22nd.
Sweet. That'll be fun.
Appreciate you.
We don't
guys
have
again.
you guys just stream in. We don't have a fancy studio like this.
No. It's all right. We'll,
You guys,
we'll have
maybe
fun
if
with
you guys
that,
sit
though.
from the couch, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You might want to wipe this down first.
Clorox
Thank you
wipe.
guys.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
a lot.
Bye, everybody.
All right, I gotta go. My kid's gonna. My dad's at home watching the kids.
All right,
He-
hey,
he'll be
guys,
home at 2:30.
And there's the second part of our show. There we go.
All
You guys
right.
did good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, totally gonna be yelled at by dad. Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate it. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
thanks. Yeah, thanks for having us. Absolutely.
Yeah, so 22nd, we'll send you StreamYard stuff.
Okay.
You guys log in. It'll be fun. We'll talk. We'll ask you guys questions. I want to know about the studio.
Yeah, ask away.
Man, I got like a little bit of the back sweat going. that was good.
I mean, it's the absence of Tiger from the Masters and kind of the uncertainty about whether he'll play again and his condition and everything is sort of like a dark cloud over the whole tournament this week. So I know everybody's kind of thoughts are with what's going on with him and his recovery. But, everybody, the Masters is obviously Tiger Woods is synonymous with the Masters. So that's a huge miss. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of, type tribute type things and mentions of him throughout the week, which is cool. But that'll be a little tough for all us big golf fans watching this. But interestingly enough, too, there's another absence that will be noticed by many golf fans, too. No Ricky Fowler, and not because he withdrew or anything like that. He simply didn't qualify. So just shows that golf's a very fickle game, and it can, Ricky struggled the last few years. And, I think the last time we did this preview, there's a lot of different criteria that go into qualifying for the Masters, winning tournaments, finishing in the top 30 in the money list or the FedEx Cup, being top 50 in the world, all kind of gets you in. And there's some other things, but Ricky's fallen out of the top 50, hasn't won in a while, and he's absent from the Masters. So, big fan favorite going there too. Hopefully he'll get back. I think he will, which kind of leads me into the next storyline of kind of a story of perseverance and resurgence is Jordan Spieth. He just won last week, the Valero Texas Open, his first win in 4 years. For those who follow golf, his game sort of took a turn for the worse. I mean, he was probably the top golfer for a while there around the 2016, 15, early 17 timeframe. He won a Masters. He almost won a second Masters, but he kind of blew it in the final round. And then he also won a US Open and a British Open, and he was, the next great thing. And then he kind of lost it, both mentally and physically. And he's grinded and battled and He's always been a fan favorite, and he's been playing really well all year. So a win was kind of inevitable, and a win came last week, and now he's coming to a place that he really enjoys. He's had a lot of success. So he's a lot of people's both sentimental and actual betting kind of favorites this week. A lot of people really like Spieth to play well. One thing I will say on that is coming off a win, it's really hard to win 2 tournaments in a row. So
Right.
I think he'll play well. Spoiler alert, he's not my winner, but he should play very well. Another storyline that's kind of interesting is Brooks Koepka, who he's a big time. He always shows up for the majors. He's never won a Masters, but he's won 2 U.S. Opens, I believe, and 2 PGA championships, and he's been just a phenomenal major championship player and was playing really well at the beginning of the year. Injured his knee in a fall at home, which I don't know too much about what happened, but he had to have surgery. He had surgery like 2 or 3 weeks ago. A lot of people thought he was going to be out months. He's actually back and playing kind of on one leg right now, but I think he's trying to sort of playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, trying to kind of prove a point here. And it'll just be interesting. He's had success at the Masters. He hasn't won, but if he were to go out and win this tournament or play really well on essentially one leg, 3 weeks off of surgery, that would be another incredible, Master story. So
Yeah, no doubt.
that's pretty interesting. And this one's been a storyline for a while. Rory McIlroy has needed the Masters to complete his career Grand Slam. He's won all the other majors. Has not been playing the best coming into this. So, but again, he has the game to contend, but he just hasn't been able to put it together as of late. But if he were to, the career Grand Slam, there's a very select company in golf, people that have won all 4 majors. So for him to be able to do that, and I think he will do it someday, but I don't know that he'll do it this year. So those are some of the main ones. I think, again, loaded field. We were talking about this a little bit off air that, back in the Tiger era in the early 2000s and that kind of time when Tiger dominated, you go into these majors and you kind of know, okay, it's really Tiger's the overwhelming favorite, and there's maybe like 4 or 5 other guys that legitimately have a chance to win. And if it's anybody outside of that, it's a major surprise. This week, you have your favorites. You have your Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Bryson, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, those guys who are kind of and Spieth, who are sort of the big favorites. But there's 20, 30, 40 other guys that could legitimately win this tournament, and it wouldn't even be terribly surprising. So that makes it a lot of fun. And for those who like to wager on golf, it makes it a little difficult, but also there's a lot of guys with really long odds that have a shot to win. So, that'll be fun, and it can go a lot of different ways. There's probably never been this level of depth and parity in the game of golf. And it feels like every week, you're thinking, oh, this guy's the best now. DJ's the best now. But then Justin Thomas won the Players Championship, and it's like, oh yeah, maybe he's the best. Maybe Spieth's starting to emerge. Maybe John Rahm's due. Bryson is always, Bryson is always a big storyline. So very exciting. It's going to be a fantastic tournament.
Does Bryson have any? Usually he's good for a few. You're competing against yourself sort of in golf, but normally he has some like bulletin board material. I feel like saying like he felt like the Masters should be like a par 67 last year, and that sort of backfired on him. Have you heard anything from him and his camp this year or this tournament?
Other than just some videos of him swinging harder than being has probably ever swung a golf club, he's been relatively quiet. I think from that standpoint, but he's still up to his old antics, and he's gonna play his game, and he's gonna try to use his length to his advantage, and
Yeah.
it certainly is a huge advantage. And he struggled in November. I'm trying to remember if he made the cut or didn't. I think he might have missed the cut in November.
I think he did.
Didn't play well. I think he'll play much better this time around. But Augusta, I mean, we talked about this too in our last preview. But Augusta's, that course is won on the greens, so you can hit it as far as you want. And there's certainly going to be opportunities where he can hit the ball a mile and have a pretty big advantage on the field. But he's gonna have to be dialed in with his approach shots and his putting to win. So it'll again, he's always fun to watch. So it'll be colorful no matter what happens.
Let me real quick go back to Jordan Spieth. Like, what do you and I get in my own head, and I'm about as average to below average a golfer as you can get. So when with a pro athlete like that that's been literally at the top of his game, what do you attribute his fall off to before last week getting that win back? Like, what do you think was wrong, or what do you think was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, you see it a lot in golf, and you also see it kind of in baseball sometimes, where a guy, you think about like Chuck Knobloch when he just couldn't throw to first base. And
right.
The sports that are, I think it's like when you think of like a football and a basketball is more of like a live action reaction type sport, where you're not thinking a whole lot. You don't have a lot of time to think aside from like foul shots in basketball.
Sure.
So you're more just out there doing things that come very naturally. Your mind isn't maybe as tuned in. Golf, baseball, you're kind of alone with your thoughts a lot. So I think arguably this started, and I think it was the 2016 Masters when he won in 2015 in dominant fashion. He was winning going into the final round in 16. He had a fairly significant lead going to the 12th hole, which is a par 3. Hit it in the water, I believe, twice. Danny Willett, out of nowhere, ended up winning the Masters that year. And that was kind of the start, I think, of a little bit of a mental spiral. Now, he still had success after that, but it really got into his head. I think nobody wants it more than he does, and nobody works harder. And I think almost to an extent, he might have worked too hard and he might have wanted it too much. And it really felt like a mental thing. He's always been an elite, phenomenal putter.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just started spraying the ball all over the place. And he would have these blow up holes where any given round he'd be going well, playing well, and then he'd double or triple a hole and kind of derail his round. The amazing thing with him is he could have really had a full on meltdown, but he's so good at kind of grinding his way and scrapping his way through rounds that he actually was still able to, make some money, make some cuts, compete a little bit and kind of grind his way through. So it's probably actually helping him more now that he was able to kind of fight through all that stuff. Now he's starting to hit the ball a lot better. So I really think it was a mental thing. Okay. And, I'm sure he saw, some therapists or something, to kind of work with him on the mental side of it. And, I think he seems to have gotten all the way back.
Okay.
He can win this week or play really well this week. It's just another step to him, being all the way back.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah, I'm always curious about that because, the mental game, talking to college golfers or people I know that are very good golfers, it's almost more a mentality than it is, you just the overall skill. Obviously the skill is highly important, but, the mental aspect is just as important, I think, in the game of golf.
No doubt.
All right, so I guess let's just get to it right now. So I guess I mean, I wrote down kind of my top 5 favorites. How do you want to do it? Do you want to pick the overall winner? Do you want to go your top 5? What do you want to do?
Well, let's see. I don't have like a specific top 5 listed, but I'd be interested. Why don't you fire off your top 5? Then I'll do a winner, and then maybe we can do sleepers.
All right. So I'm gonna go backwards. Then I'll go 5-1. So I'm gonna start off with Jason Day, for really no other reason except I just like the way he handles himself. I like Jason Day as a player. Number 4, I just this is another guy, Jason Day, and this next guy, I really just like them a lot. Max Homa. So I'm gonna put him at 4. Number 3, I am gonna go with Jordan Spieth. I think coming off of last week, I think he's going to carry that momentum. I don't necessarily think he's going to win, but I think he's going to be in the top 10, sort of a top 10 finish. Number 2, I'm going to go Justin Thomas. He's about as consistent a golfer as you can find. And then I'm sticking with who I picked back in November and who won the tournament. I'm going DJ Dustin Johnson. So those are my top 5. And real quick, my sleeper is Abraham Answer. I think he could be. I think he could do some damage. And a really, really, really dark horse, not by name, but by chances of winning. I'm going with Phil Mickelson as the dark horse to be in contention on Sunday.
That would be phenomenal. I mean, Phil, he certainly knows his way around Augusta, so I can't believe the guy's 50, but he could absolutely do it.
I mean, I wouldn't bet the house on it, but well, a little, a small wager wouldn't hurt, I think, on Phil.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at like betting, if you're looking at like a good top 10 bet, top 5 bet, I think you hit it on the head with Spieth. I really do. He's playing so well and he plays so well at Augusta, and I think he got the monkey off his back. So I think he's going to contend. So I don't want to. What I said earlier that I don't think he's going to win is by no means. That's just more of like it's hard to be the top guy 2 weeks in a row. Right. But yeah, so I like your picks. I like Homa a lot as well. My winner, and you really don't have an excuse. You don't need an excuse to pick this guy to win because he's one of the top golfers in the world. But I'm also riding the fact that he just had a baby. Wife just had a baby. And a lot of times guys will play free and loose and you kind of have a different perspective on life after that happens. So I'm going with John Rahm to don the green jacket a week after his I believe his baby daughter was born. But again, I think Justin Thomas, I think, is another guy that's getting a lot of airplay this week. He won the Players Championship, playing exceptional. The same old guys that you hear a lot, like Xander Schauffele, who I picked in November, didn't come through. He always seems to contend. Patrick Cantley's always kind of a contender. We talked about DJ. Couple guys I like. I jotted down there's a lot of Brits in this tournament. We talked about Rory, but a guy I like is Paul Casey. Been around a long time, never won a major. Played extremely well this year. Plays well at Augusta. Matthew Fitzpatrick, who I think I mentioned as a quote unquote sleeper back in November, another exceptional golfer, and Tommy Fleetwood and his beautiful hair. I think those guys will compete. Lee Westwood is an interesting story too, because he's 47 years old, never won a major, sort of become a fan favorite, definitely a fan favorite overseas in England.
Yeah.
And has been playing exceptionally well as of late. So, those are just some guys, but my sleepers are that we haven't mentioned. Again, I like a lot of your picks. 2 guys that literally probably combined weigh about as much as Bryson DeChambeau. A guy named Will Zalatoris, who's a tour rookie. He actually looks like, you may have seen this on Twitter. He actually looks like the caddy that Adam Sandler got in Happy Gilmore in his first tournament. He literally looks like he's 13 years old. He's probably 130 pounds soaking wet, but he's a phenomenal golfer. And we did talk about this in November. The first timers at Augusta typically don't fare well. He is a first timer, but I think he's going to play well. And then Joaquin Neiman, another little guy, a little bit more well-known, is another guy that I have kind of as the sleeper. And then going really deep, a guy that has kind of come onto the scene a little bit in some tournaments, including the match play championship a few weeks ago, is a Frenchman by the name of Victor Perez. So I think he's playing in his first Masters. It may be his second Masters. I'm not sure, but I like him to play pretty well too. And I do like Jason Kokrak this week.
Yeah, local guy.
To contend a little bit. So,
okay. All right.
Again, so many guys we didn't mention, but those are just, those are some of the highlights there. But I do like John Rahm to put the jacket on.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. So real quick, let's do a few things here. So first of all, what would you, well, you know what, before I ask this question, you can see it on the screen, but I know they're not called fans. Patrons, I believe, are allowed back this year, at least on a limited basis.
Yeah, there's a reduced number, but they'll be there. So that'll be really cool.
Okay. All right, very good. So what do you think you would shoot on Augusta, 18?
Well, let's see. So for reference, I guess I'm normally kind of a low 90s golfer. So if I broke 120, I would be ecstatic. I think championship conditions. Yeah. If I broke 120, I'd be ecstatic. I think a course like this, whereas like a US Open course would just eat you alive with like length and like rough. This course will just eat you alive on the greens. So I just feel like it would be a feat to three putt, for players of kind of our caliber, a three putt would be doing well on a lot of these holes. So I think that's where you would just lose a lot of strokes. There's not as much trouble on this course as there are on, like, again, on some of the other, like some of the US Open type courses, but it's, just all the undulations and just little things that you really don't even think about. Like you think about like a novice golfer, think about when you get an uphill or a downhill where the ball's way below your feet and how hard it is to hit that. You're hard pressed on this course to have like a lie on flat ground. So that's where I think you'd really get eaten alive.
Okay. All right. Well, if you'd be happy shooting a 120, I don't know what I'd be happy shooting since you're the better golfer than I am. So, all right, let's go to the kind of final thing here. So, obviously Dustin Johnson winning, Tiger Woods the previous winner, donned the green jacket on Dustin. So with that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but Dustin Johnson will get to pick the what's it called, the Champions Dinner.
Yeah, so it's actually like when we're recording this on Tuesday night, the 6th, and that's actually, they do the Champions Dinner on the Tuesday night before the Masters.
Okay.
And Dustin, the previous champion gets to pick the menu.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you had sent me this earlier. So let's bring up the menu here that they'll be, they're probably getting after it, or probably finishing up right now. So, all right, let's see here. So yeah, like you said, tonight, April 6th, 2021, we got a garden salad or a Caesar salad. We got the prime filet mignon with herb butter, fish also available among, with on request. You got the family style sides.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. peach cobbler and apple pie, that's probably a Georgia staple there.
And I think DJ's from the South too, so I think that's probably a nod to his heritage as well.
I think he's a South Carolina guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he
I
is.
think he went to Coastal Carolina, which when they were, having their run in football this year, I remember hearing that.
That's absolutely right. Yep.
All right, so you had actually asked me this question, so I'm going to reverse it on you. I'm going to have you start. So if you were hosting the champions dinner at the Masters, what would your menu be?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. I actually went down a champions dinner rabbit hole even after I texted you this. And I would totally recommend doing it because it's really entertaining just to see the different menus because they had them for like the last 25 years.
Okay.
Before I answer the question, one really funny thing was in 1998 when Tiger won in 97. I mean, he was 21 years old. It was crazy. He's really young.
Mm-hmm.
1998 Champions Dinner hosted by Tiger Woods was cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, French fries, and milkshakes. No,
right.
So, which I don't think anybody would have complained about that, but that was cool. But you see the whole gamut. It's actually really cool when like a foreigner wins because then they'll do like a total meal from their home country. So that's really neat. There's some phenomenal looking meals. This is a really good one, but I mean, after reading some of the other ones, this is pretty basic as far as like, when I looked at this, I thought of any wedding that I've ever gone to, right, is kind of, again, you can't go wrong with a nice steak, but
yeah,
you should see what some of the other guys do and how they mix it up and some of they go a little fancier, but, I think, it's hard not to go with some type of steak dish. But I'm also a sucker for pasta. So I think it would be, like a steak and a pasta type main course. Salad. Yeah, sure. Maybe some clam chowder. Dessert for me, it's got to be chocolate. It's got to be something chocolate or like a chocolate peanut butter pie or something along those lines. Like the peach cobbler and apple pie is fine, but I need chocolate for my dessert. So there was one year Jordan Spieth did a barbecue and that was really solid. And his dessert was a warm chocolate chip cookie with vanilla ice cream. I mean, come on, how can you beat that? So, some type of, like linguine with clam sauce is my all-time favorite meal. So I would probably have that in there as the pasta dish. I know that might not be the most popular for a lot of people, but who gives a shit? I just won the Masters. I can pick it. So, but a nice steak or chicken kind of on the side or, as part of the main course as well. So, yeah. What do you think?
All right, so yeah, you have to have something to start off. So I'm going. I'm a kind of a sucker for I want to say this the right way. Living in Youngstown, I'll probably get in trouble if I don't mispronounce this, but the caprese or caprese salad. So give me some tomatoes and mozzarella and balsamic to start off. If people don't like that, another option would be like, I don't know. I've come to like a beet salad as well. I don't think that might not go over as well, but those would be my starters. I'm a steak guy, so I don't think most people would complain with a steak. So I would go like a black and blue type steak, like a seared with maybe like blue cheese on it. I know that wouldn't be your thing, but for the people that aren't meat eaters, for herbivore, vegetarian, or non-meat eater friends, I'd probably give them an option like a salmon or something else. You got to have some vegetables in there too. If whether it's I'd probably go like sweet potato, I think, or some sort of like colorful vegetables. And then being from Youngstown, shit, if I won the Masters, I like who'd you say that was? Jordan Spieth that went
Yeah.
with cookie. I'd probably go some sort of like real simple cookie or cake and Handel's ice cream. So, you know,
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
and real quick too, you know, I think if I'm winning too, I'm saying there's got to be some sort of alcoholic beverage too.
Yeah, and they have that. They have the wines down there, but
Okay.
yeah. I was going to make sure we touched on that. I know you're a bourbon guy, so yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I'm sure at the Masters they're not skimping on. You know, they probably got like Pappy Van Winkle or you know, Blanton's. You know, is probably like the lowest level down there. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with any of that.
Yeah, because I would be interested. I'll probably look up those bottles of those wines that are listed on that menu. I'm sure they're not $15 bottles of drinks. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And I honestly would recommend to people to look at some of the menus, but don't do it while you're hungry because it'll make you absolutely starving. But you know, it's obviously there's so many great traditions with the Masters, and that is like a really cool one.
Mm-hmm.
Only the champions, you know, some people might call it a little pretentious. I'm sure they all show up in their green jackets, but I mean, it's a prestigious honor. There are not a lot of people who have, you know, won the Masters, and
Exactly.
you know, and it's an exciting thing. Like you think about all the people that are at that dinner, and the winner gets to pick what you eat. So that's pretty cool. And then another cool tradition I know this will air after it's on, but the par 3 contest.
Yeah.
Wednesday, which is always a lot of fun to watch. And always keep in mind, you bettors too. And again, this is later. You won't be seeing this before, but the winner of the par 3 contest has never won the tournament. So it's kind of
okay.
a potential little curse of the par 3, but
all right.
It's a great week, and it's exciting. It'll be a lot of fun. And, you know, what I always hope every year is that it's, you know, you get one of those magical finishes that comes down to 18 and, you know, somebody's got a putt to win. And you like to see a guy make a putt to win the Masters. You don't like to see somebody hit it in the water 3 times and blow the Masters. So you always kind of hope it ends on a, just like it really in any sport, you hate to watch somebody blow something. You'd rather watch somebody go win it. So, you know, hopefully somebody can win it with a birdie on 18 and we can have one of those great moments that we've had so many over the years, like the one over my right shoulder here. That's actually Jack Nicklaus rolling in his birdie putt on a 17th hole in 1986 with Vern on the call on his way to his 6th Master. So that's a real photo in my basement, and I look at it every day, and it is extra special this week. So
awesome. Is he going to be teeing off on the lead hole?
Yes, I think it'll be him and Gary Player, and I think now Lee Elder is who is the first African American to play in the Masters. I think he is going to be part of this one.
Okay.
Announced in November that he would be part of it. And I think he's going to do it. So I think he's taken kind of Arnie's place. You know, they had been only going with 2 people on the ceremonial tee shot. So that's always, that's another great tradition too. So,
okay. Let me ask you this, you know, like let's exclude the days. So, you know, whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, who would you rather hear calling an important shot on the green, Vern or Jim Nance?
Oh man, I have a soft spot for Vern, and I think he'll be there again. I mean, that's the one thing that he does. So yeah, I always prefer Vern, but you know, I have to admit Nance is so strong in this event, and he has his voice goes to like a different level this week. He's got the golf voice down, and you know, he lives for kind of telling the story and setting the stage and all that. But if there's a moment, like a great moment, I always feel like Vern has just a knack for nailing that great moment as well as anybody. But Nance kind of being the MC of the event is really his niche. So
Yeah. Pretty busy week for him too, going from the national title game to the Masters. But with the nice thing is if Vern's there, you don't have to choose, you get them both. So
that's right. That's right.
Cool. So Greg, appreciate you always for your insight. And again, tell us, I know who you picked, but just remind everybody.
Yeah, John Rahm.
Okay. I'm gonna stick with DJ to win. So we'll see how those turn out, and hopefully at the end of the day, you just hope, like you said, for a good finish going down the stretch, and those guys do an amazing job telling the story. So Greg, thanks again, and we'll see how those picks turn out next week.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, Justin.
All right, talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content, and we would appreciate you sharing the videos and the word about us. Thank you.